Tonight, Evansville Otters baseball from Brentwood Park in Marion, Illinois. It'll be the third game of a three-game set between the visiting Evansville Otters as they are taking on the Southern Illinois Miners. Jordan Fisher alongside Zane Clodfelter, Preston Lineback, also in our remote studio in Evansville, Indiana, also known as Jim Redmond's apartment. We're back in the currently second year of Jim's apartment, and hopefully the Otters get a victory here in game number 3. It's been a tough go for the Otters in the first 2 games. They lost the first game of the series by a score of 2-0, and then fell in last night's ball game by a score of 3-0. Zane, we got a pair of right-handers on the mound. Ryan O'Reilly for the Otters, 4-2 on the season, a 2.15 ERA. The rookie has been fantastic for Evansville this season.
He has been a pleasant surprise for Evansville. Signed, after opening day for the Otters, and he's really impressed. His debut, of course, came in Marion earlier this year, and he pitched really well, so kind of looking to replicate that here as the Otters trying to not only score, but avoid a sweep.
And you kind of alluded to the 19-inning scoreless streak for the Evansville Otters. Last time they scored a run was actually in the bottom of the 7th inning against Lake Erie, all the way back on Sunday. They'll be taking on a right-hander for the Miners, Zach Westcott. He's got a 9-3 record of 3.60 ERA. He's been very good for the Miners, who have also had a great staff to this point in the season.
Yeah, no, the Miners are still in the playoff discussion because of guys like Zach Westcott and Chase Cunningham. Good pitching can take you a very long way in the Frontier League. You do that very well.
The Evansville Otters coming tonight 44-29. They're in first place in the West Division, 4-6 in their last 10. Whereas the Miners, they're trying to gain ground in that West Division. They have stand at 40-34. Winners of 2 in a row. They sit in third in the West, 4.5 games back out of first place. They're 7-3 in their last 10. We'll go and step away for a quick break. We'll come back with the starting lineups and then first pitch from Brentwood Park. Again, you're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
We love our kids and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield offers health insurance for children up to age 18 at low or no cost. From doctor visits to dental care, Anthem is here to put resources at your fingertips and simple solutions within your reach. And that is something to smile about. Call 1-800-403-0864 to enroll today. To learn more, visit anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
Fix up your home with Heritage. Our home improvement financing options can help you change your home now and pay for it over time. Upgrade your home. Make home repairs. Remodel a kitchen. Build a new deck. Add a new room. Remodel your bath. Update appliances. Whether it's a small weekend project or a large renovation, Heritage Federal Credit Union can help you finance your improvements today. Fix up your home with Heritage.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to go for some Evansville Otters baseball here in the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Klonsvelter, joined by Preston Leinenbach, who is producing tonight's broadcast. I'm sure we'll hear from him later on. As well as we are working remotely tonight for game number 3 of the series between the Evansville Otters and the Southern Illinois Miners. And Zane is anxiously awaiting his opportunity to go through the starting lineup. So, Zane, take it away.
All right, Jordan, for the Evansville Otters, first place in the Frontier League West Division at 44-29. Leading off the shortstop, number 2, Anita Jesus. Batting second in right field will be Elijah McNamee. At third tonight, batting third is J.R. Davis. Batting fourth, the cleanup spot, and DHing Riley Crane. Batting fifth at first base, Dakota Phillips. Batting sixth at second, Gary Mattis. Batting seventh in left field, it's John Schultz, the veteran. Batting eighth in center field, Miles Gordon. And batting ninth and catching, Michael Gingwish. Ryan O'Reilly, the right-hander. The starting pitcher for Evansville, Jesus, McNamee, Davis, Crane, Phillips, Mattis, Schultz, Gordon, Gingwish. The starters for Evansville, who are a game up on the Florence Shoals in the West Division. 4.5 up on the Miners, who are 40-34. Leading off for them at second base is Brian Flete. Batting second at shortstop, it's Judson Gudinho. Batting third in right field is Nolan Hurley. Batting fourth and left, Ariel Sandoval. Batting fifth at third is Ian Walters. Batting sixth, the designated hitter Anthony Brocato. Batting seventh in center field is Jared Mang. Batting eighth at first base is Cody Erickson. Catching, batting ninth, Arturo Nieto. So Flete, Gudinho, Early, Sandoval, Walters, Brocato, Mang, Erickson, Nieto with Zach Westcott. Jordan on the plate, on the mound. Throwing to the plate.
Thanks. We are still waiting for first pitch here. Last week, start for Marco gives a chance to run through some of the frontier and the team to swap.
There we go.
Our final score, Sean Martin, their game against Joliet, high score 5-0. Few games going on. Actually, all the other games in the Frontier League have started top fourth. New York Boulders and Jackson City, AudioCast 3-1. The top first from the city, and they would have just avoided that loss of schools from GCS, Walmart, top first as well. That round, it's part of the Washington offense, but it's just now Chris, the league here, first minus 1400. Top third, New Jersey Champions 5.
I keep J back.
Sussex County, the Florence Yawls 4, Sussex County 2. So the Yawls have lost 2 games of that series. That's a big reason why Evansville is still up in the West Division standings, despite having those 2 last losses.
Right, and you mentioned the one final from earlier today, Schaumburg and Joliet. Schaumburg winning 5-0. That was the final time those 2 teams will play each other, the 18th time this season.
So we're still waiting first pitch as the stream is yet to begin from Rent One Park. Of course, we are working remotely from Evansville, Indiana. Again, Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Klonfelter, Preston Leinenbach, over here making sure that everything sounds good and looks good, and that we are good. We're going to step away for a quick break. We'll come back with first pitch right after this on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel. Welcome back. We're still awaiting first pitch here for the Evansville Otters and Southern Illinois Miners. Third game of their 3-game series. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Claudefelter. We went through the Frontier League TV scoreboard. Let's take a look at the standings, Zane. We touched on the West Division, how Evansville leads that with a record of 44-29, 1 game ahead of Florence, 4.5 ahead of Southern Illinois. In the Northeast Division, Sussex County is leading that division with a 40-32 record. They're up 2.5 games in the Washington Wild Things. In the Central Division, Schaumburg picking up another win. They are now 39-35. They have a 4.5 game lead over Lake Erie. And then Tri-City, they lead the Atlantic Division with a record of 39-33. They are 4.5 up on New York Boulders in that division. And we now finally have the stream live and active. And it looks like Zach Westcott is out there warming up, the righty for the Miners, wearing number 19, as he is 9-3 on the season and has a 3.60 ERA. Again, we'll go through the lineup one more time, Zane. I'll let you do it this time again if you want to go through the Evansville Otters lineup and the lineup that Westcott will be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Westcott, you said, warming up on the mound. The shortstop, Andy DeJesus, leading off. Elijah McNamee, the right fielder, batting second. At third base, J.R. Davis. Riley Crane batting cleanup, the DH. Dakota Phillips batting fifth. At first base tonight, Gary Mattis is at second base batting sixth. John Schultz is in left field batting seventh. Miles Gordon in center field batting eighth. And catching for Evansville batting ninth is Michael Gingwish. DeJesus, McNamee, Davis, Crane, Phillips, Mattis, Schultz, Gordon, Gingwish. Jordan?
One thing that stood out to me in that lineup when I was looking at it earlier, lots of changes as we saw. Phillips getting to play first, Crane getting a DH, Gangwish back behind the plate, Schultz starting again in left field. Preston and I were talking about it before we went on the air, but we believe that's the second time this year that Schultz has started in left field for the Otters.
Yeah, and by the way, the home plate umpire is David Bailey. First base is Preston Childers, and Chris Dykman is our third base umpire.
I was getting ready to do that after the first pitch, but good job, Zane. You jumped right to it.
I'm an eager beaver today.
We are getting ready to go for first pitch as we see Westcott standing on the mound. DeJesus stepping in the batter's box, batting from the left side as the switch-hitting shortstop goes, and we are underway. First pitch at 7:12. It's a swinging strike for DeJesus.
Must have been waiting for television.
Yeah, must have been. They knew that we were having some technical difficulties, but I think Preston's got that all lined out for us, making us sound good now. As the 0-1 is swung and fouled down the left field line. It'll be 0-2. And I was not prepared to look up the Marion weather, so give me 1 second so we can get that.
Humid.
84 degrees. Feels like 90 degrees in Marion, Illinois. It feels like it's about 70 degrees in Jevon's apartment. The 0-2, a quick delivery as DeJesus grounds it through the left side of the infield. He gets a leadoff base hit, and the Otters with a base runner here early on just the third pitch of the ball game.
That's a positive start for the Evansville Otters. You've been shut out the last 2 nights. Your 19 innings consecutive scoreless streak still active, and what a way there for Andy DeJesus. He's a guy that you can count on getting on base, batting over 300, as you mentioned. So now we can see the speed.
Bring on Elijah McNamee, the right fielder wearing number 9. Go ahead and give us the opportunity to set the defense for the Miners. It's Ariel Sandoval in left, Jared Mang in center. Nolan Early back in the lineup in right as the first pitch to McNamee is high, a breaking ball, 1-0. Around the infield, Ian Walters at the hot corner. Gudinho is the shortstop. Flete, the second baseman. Cody Erickson over at first base. And then the man catching Zach Westcott is Arturo Nieto, as he is now behind the plate for the third game, as the 1-0 is a breaking ball for a called strike, 1-1.
And good to see Nolan Early back in the game tonight. He had to leave very early, being hit by a pitch in the knee. His very first at-bat.
Yeah, I did not see that at that time, but I heard you guys talking about it last night as you guys were doing the game from Bosse Field. And it's good to see him back in the lineup. You never want to see a player get injured. The 1-1, a fastball high in the zone, now 1-2 for McNamee.
I'm sure it'll leave a pretty good bone bruise, though, but sometimes when you get to this point in the Frontier League season, you're in August, the push for the postseason, you kind of have to take a salt tablet and play on.
Not sure if you mentioned this or not, but McNamee leads the team in batting average for the Otters, a .324 average for the Otters right fielder is the 1-2 up and in. Now it's 2-2.
Mississippi State product, played in the College World Series before arriving in Evansville.
Got the nickname Big Hit Mac when he was at Mississippi State, from my understanding. 10 doubles, 2 triples, 7 homers on the year for McNamee. He has driven in 38. As Westcott working from the stretch. And the righty delivers the 2-2. It's outside. Ball 3, just missing the outside corner on that fastball. It's a full count for McNamee. This was something we saw last night, too, with the Otters. They did a very good job of working deep into counts, just did not get the results as far as putting a run on the board. But I thought they put together some good at-bats.
No, they did. The problem was it was somewhat tough to get into a rhythm, Jordan, because it was a very slow-paced game, and as a hitter, it was kind of hard to get your timing down with all the constant stops and timeouts being called and then throws that were made over to first base.
I think it was around the 7th inning you mentioned this is my kind of score, but not my kind of pace of game.
Right.
The payoff pitch is fouled off as it looks like the Jesus was off on the pitch as Nieto popped up out of his stance, so we'll get a chance to do it again at 3-2.
I love the jerseys that the Evansville Otters are wearing. They have the grays with the blue numbers and blue letters, and it's Evansville.
These are a classic look. I like the black batting helmet too.
Right. And
it's a very good accent to the blue.
And you're supposed to, baseball protocol, when you're on the road, you wear the city name of the team that you're playing for. So I like this look. Sometimes they just wear the Otters blue on the road.
3-2 again is a fastball outside. It'll be ball 4, so it won't matter as the throw down to second. Beat to Jesus, but I think it's because he pulled up short knowing that it was ball 4. So 2 runners on base for the Otters here as J.R. Davis comes up. And he himself had a great game, but did not impact his batting average at all last night.
Right, because he walked.
4 walks, the golden eye, as Preston coined it.
Playing lawyer ball. I like it.
Exactly.
Negotiate those pitches, Jordan. That's what I did growing up.
He will come up to bat with the Jesus at second, McNamee at first, as the Otters' third baseman tonight watches the first pitch high and away for ball 1. Davis, a .310 hitter on the season. 16 doubles, 1 triple, 7 home runs, has driven in 47 runs. A chance to maybe end that scoreless streak for the Otters here as he has 2 on and nobody out. The 1-0, high and away, now 2-0. This is more of what J.R. Davis saw last night. Nothing but hitters counts and maybe not even swinging the bat. Two balls, no strikes to J.R. Davis. Again, Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Klonfelter, working remotely in Evansville, Indiana, as we are covering the Honors Miners game at Rent One Park. 2-0 was a big hack by J.R. Davis as he looked like he was trying to hit that out of the ballpark. 2-1.
And here's the key, Jordan. You have 2 runners on, nobody out. The pitcher is erratic. This is when you have to capitalize and get some runs on the starting pitcher early before he settles into a groove here and finds a rhythm on the mound.
And if you think about it, the last 2 games, the Otters had early chances and were unable to come through, and it ended up resulting in no runs over the first 2 games. Now it's a 3-1 count as the 2-1 misses high. And I think if you're the Southern Illinois Miners and Zach Westcott, the last thing you want to do is walk the bases loaded for a Mr. Riley Crane, who is in the on-deck circle.
With 3 grand slams already this season.
Westcott's got his sign as he peeks back at Jesus. He delivers the 3-1 as it's a called strike up at the letters. Now it's a full count for the second consecutive batter.
And I like strikes being called at the letters. Make it consistent. Letters and knees. Expand that zone and you have better games. You have faster paced games and you get guys swinging.
And again, as you noted, David Bailey is behind the plate tonight, calling balls and strikes from Rent One Park. Westcott keeping an eye on to Jesus, the payoff pitch. It's hit out into right center field. That'll drop for a base hit in front of Meng. And it looks like they are going to, I believe, hold up to Jesus at third base. They did hold him up, so it'll just be a single for J.R. Davis. I was kind of waiting for the camera feed to kind of zoom back a little bit to see what was going to happen there, but it'll be a bases loaded situation as the Otters' designated hitter, Riley Crane, comes to the plate. So a good piece of hitting there by J.R. Davis.
There's nowhere to put Riley Crane, Jordan.
There is nowhere to put Riley Crane. You were right. And you mentioned 3 grand slams on the year for Riley Crane. He only has, well, I say only, he has 14 home runs, but the fact that 3 of those are grand slams, that's a pretty good percentage for your grand slam to home run ratio. First pitch inside, ball 1.
Like the Otters being patient here early. They're not going to swing at a pitch out of their comfort zone, out of their strike zone that they're looking for.
Westcott's got his sign as he peeks at McNamee at second, and he delivers a curveball in for strike one. It's now 1-1.
Man, that was a beautiful curveball.
I was getting ready to say, so the first batter of the game, Andy DeJesus, got down 0-2 before he hit a dribbler through the left side of the infield for a leadoff single. Ever since Westcott had gone to the stretch as the 1-1 misses inside, it's now 2-1. He has fallen behind to each of the next three batters, McNamee, Davis, and Crane, at some point in the at-bat. So perhaps pitching from the stretch is not exactly Westcott's favorite thing to start off a game with. 2-1 delivery. Swung on and fouled down the right side as it was a line drive. It'll bounce over the fence and a couple kids will chase after it. It's now 2-2.
Just a tad bit early on that one.
He was ready.
He was ready.
I think especially with how the Otters, again, they have a 19-inning scoreless streak. I think they're all aware of it. They're trying to break that scoreless streak. I like to see the aggressiveness by Crane to try to jump on a fastball that was middle in. He just pulled it.
But if he gets that pitch again, I guarantee you he's not going to miss.
Oh, yeah. Westcott's got his sign once again, the 2-2. It's a curveball, and he swings through it as Riley Crane strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the night for Zach Westcott, and the first out of the inning for the Otters. And that'll bring up the Otters' first baseman, Dakota Phillips, as we see a replay. Just a great breaking ball there.
So the curveball is working for Zach Westcott, which means you now have Dakota Phillips coming up to bat. You hang a curveball, especially with someone like Dakota Phillips. Katie barred the door early for the Miners. Yeah. So you got to be careful here. That's the pitch that's working, but one mistake in this situation, still bases loaded, one out, will cost him.
The breaking ball was a theme from the first two nights, too, of this series for the Southern Illinois pitching staff. Breaking ball on the first pitch, Dakota Phillips drops in for a strike. It's 0-1. And now here he is jumping back in front of the batters with a first pitch strike is Zach Westcott. Phillips, 11 home runs on the year, 13 doubles, has driven in 38 runs for Evansville. The 0-1 swung and just a little bit tardy on the fastball. It's now 0-2.
Mike Shannon would always say momentum is dictated on in-game situations. You can't have momentum going from game to game because the starting pitcher has a great deal of impact on that. But game-to-game situations, there is momentum, and this would be a huge momentum swing if the Otters strand all three after having 0 outs.
Westcott just took a quick peek at McNamee. He gets a ground to the right side. It's off Flete. It deflects to Gudino for a double play. Just not a great sequence of events there for the Evansville Otters. Flete tried to make the diving stop, actually deflected off his glove directly to Gudino, who is at the second base bag for the double play. That is just not great luck.
And as Mike Shannon would say, momentum now on the side of Southern Illinois as we go to the bottom of the first, Jordan.
I guess that would be considered a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, and the Otters end up stranding the bases loaded. It's still 0-0 after the top of the first. We'll come back with the bottom half where the Southern Illinois Miners will be coming up to bat to face Ryan O'Reilly, the Otters rookie pitcher, right after this on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Welcome to a place that feels like home. A place that cares about all of you. Built to help you grow in more ways than you could possibly imagine. To make new friends, travel new paths, soar to new heights, and deepen your spiritual experience. Welcome to Oakland City University.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
We head to the bottom of the first inning as the Evansville Otters had the bases loaded in an unfortunate 4-6-3 double play into the inning, allowing no runs to come across for Zach Westcott as he escapes the jam. There were 2 hits in that inning, 2 left on for the Evansville Otters, and now coming up for the Southern Illinois Miners is the second baseman Bryant Flette, as he will be facing Ryan O'Reilly. The first pitch to Flette is low for ball 1. Again, we touched on it. Ryan O'Reilly on the season, a 4-2 record at 2.15 ERA. The rookie has been fantastic for Evansville, and I think Andy McCauley and company are surely hoping to have a great outing from O'Reilly once again as the 1-0 is swung on and missed by Flette. It's now 1-1.
I'm still not over the last half inning, Jordan. I don't know what else to say.
Just a very tough play is just not great luck on the side for the Evansville Otters in that situation. The 1-1 misses low. It's now 2-1. Of course, again, to describe it in case you didn't see it or you're not watching the stream, it was a ground ball up the middle, and Flette dove and it deflected off his glove as he grounds this one to Dakota Phillips, and that goes off his glove into shallow right field. We'll have to wait to see if it's considered a base hit or error. I would think it would be a base hit, but Flette is going to reach regardless as the leadoff man is on for Southern Illinois.
Where was our good luck bounce, Karen?
But
right
to summarize that really quickly, it deflected off Flette's glove directly to Yeltsin Godinho, and he was in perfect position to turn the double play. It was almost like Flette intentionally hit the ball to Godinho.
They called a base hit.
I think that's the right call. So there goes the no-no, as Brandon would say.
And he's listening. He listens to our broadcast.
Awesome. I appreciate him tuning in. Still a 0-0 game as the first pitch, I guess, missed.
And if you're joining us late, the Otters had the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the first. And they didn't score.
I said I guess the pitch missed because the camera work, I don't know what was going on there. I never saw the pitch, but it's 1-0. O'Reilly's 1-0 is chopped back up the middle. It's off his glove. His only play is to first as he is able to corral it. 1-3 on the putout, and that'll advance Flette into scoring position as Godinho is the first out of the inning.
Ryan O'Reilly sure does gunsling it over to first on
He didn't hold back on that.
He did not. Straight our gun that one.
That'll bring up Nolan Early, the Miners right fielder. Again, only had one at bat last night. Ended up taking a ball off the knee and left the ball game. Good to see him back in the lineup.
It's no official at bat.
Correct. I guess he had one plate appearance. Thank you.
I'm sorry. No.
You're right. You're right, though. First pitch to Early. A changeup in there for strike. 0-1. And I say a good thing for him to be back in the lineup. If you're the Evansville Otters, you probably like, okay, it's all right. You don't have to play because Nolan Early is very good at baseball and, in fact, their best hitter. But in general, it's good to see him back on the field and healthy as the 0-1 high and away full ball one. A weird start to this game, Zane.
To say the least.
Maybe that turf is extra bouncy tonight. Maybe that's what it is. A long look at second, the 1-1 from O'Reilly. It's a ground ball again off O'Reilly's glove, and that's just going to die in the infield. It'll be an infield single for Nolan Early, and runners on the corners now for the Miners.
I tell you
with
what,
only
Jordan,
one out.
Sure. I tell you what. You can't script it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. And people ask, well, why have you been with the Otters so long? It's because every time I go to Bossy Field, I see something stupid and dumb, and it keeps me coming back.
There have been 5 grounders hit in this game. One was a dribbler through the left side of the infield for De Jesus. The other was a rocket off of Flette's diving attempt for a double play. And then there have now been 3 grounders that have bounced off an Otter's glove between Dakota Phillips, Ryan O'Reilly, and Ryan O'Reilly.
Because Andy De Jesus had the
dribbler that got through for a base hit that didn't get touched.
Was it? I don't know. I thought it was hit harder than calling it a dribbler.
It snuck through the left side. Okay. I didn't think it looked like it had a whole lot of speed, but then again, dealing with the camera work of a live stream.
Considering the circumstances of the series so far, I'm trying
we'll call it a hard line drive to the left side.
Scorched, everybody.
Runners on the corner, 1 out, and that brings up Ariel Sandoval, the Miners left fielder and cleanup hitter, as he stands in from the right side facing Ryan O'Reilly. The first pitch is breaking ball low and away for ball 1. So on the season, Sandoval batting .277. Yet to hit a home run, has 3 doubles and 1 triple.
Knock on wood right now.
It's the closest thing to me that I'm going to consider wood. I'm just pointing out the stats, Zane. I'm not trying to say anything.
I feel like I was.
I think you're just paranoid. I think you're just paranoid. 1-0, low and away. It's now 2-0. Rocky start here for Ryan O'Reilly, and frankly, can't blame him. It's been a weird start to this game. O'Reilly's got his sign working from the stretch. A long pause now to 2-0. It's a fastball low and away, ball 3. I hate to continue to feel like I'm piling on, but this feels like a situation Evansville needs to find a way to get out of.
Right.
Just with everything that's been going on the last 2 games and how they couldn't score runs in either of those games, and then you have the weird play at the end of the first inning that surrounded the bases loaded. Evansville needs some positive momentum. The 3-0, way outside, ball 4. And that loads the bases.
In a very long first inning here, both teams now have loaded the bases. The difference between the Otters and the Miners is the Otters had the bases loaded with nobody out, and here the Miners do have 1 out. But this is a guy in Ian Walters who's batting, Jordan, .298, and he is an RBI machine. He has 37 for the Miners.
Good for 4th on the team. Just 2 home runs, 16 doubles. As you mentioned, the .298 batting average. He puts the ball in play at a high rate, and he's coming up with the bases loaded. Only 1 out for O'Reilly. First pitch is a fastball that's bounced, and looks like there will be no play at home plate as Flete will stay at third base. Good block there by Gangwish.
No, and then he stared that runner back down at third base, making sure Flete wasn't trying to get cute and maybe think about coming down and trying to score.
I suppose I could set the Otters defense in case people tuned in late. John Schultz is your left fielder. Miles Gordon in center. Elijah McNamee in right. At third base, it's J.R. Davis. Andy DeJesus is the shortstop. Gary Mattis over at second base. Dakota Phillips at first base. And Michael Gangwish is catching tonight's ball game as Ryan O'Reilly is the righty on the mound. 1-0. A little bit of a backdoor slider. Called strike, 1-1.
Who would be late for this very important date?
I mean, some people just got stuff going on and they just can't make it to the 7:12 start when it was supposed to be 7:05.
Perhaps Southern Illinois dealing with that situation.
They
right?
might. Looks like a decent crowd on hand tonight in Brent One Park as the 1-1 is swung on and missed. It's now a 1-2.
In the same shot we've seen this entire series, there's about 5 more people sitting in our
I'm trying to give him some credit. Maybe it's a Thirsty Thursday there. I am told by Preston Leinenbach that it is some sort of law enforcement night.
Special hats they're wearing.
The 1-2. Grounded to the right side. Fielded by Phillips. He'll tag first. Come home. And did they tag the runner?
Well, his base is loaded, so force at every bag.
But if he stepped on the base first, doesn't he have to tag the runner at home plate?
Yes, and he did because
they're saying he didn't step on the bag at first. They just went to home and got the lead runner. So it's 3-2 on the fielder's choice.
Well, that's disappointing because I thought
he stepped on the bag, but
looking from our vantage point, I thought Dakota Phillips stepped on the bag and then threw, and then Gangwish was ready and already standing. The guy didn't even try to touch home.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's still bases loaded with 2 outs. This has been a weird start to the game. That brings up Anthony Brocato, the designated hitter for the Miners. We're just going to go ahead and fast forward and move on. First pitch swinging as he tried to hold up on the check swing. No dice as it's called a strike by home plate umpire David Bailey. It's now 0-1.
Any relation to Damon Bailey?
I do not know the answer to that question. Okay. You might. You know, like everything about Damon Bailey's background. The 0-1 swung on a miss. It's now 0-2.
Not a part of the immediate family. Can tell you that.
Well, there you go. That's all I needed to know.
And you're not related to Don Fisher because
I am not.
He has a C in his last name.
Yes, and would you like to know? Well, I don't know if this is controversial for Zane. I like to think that people that spell their name Fisher with a C spell it wrong. Because when you go fishing, you don't put a C in it.
So question.
0-2 misses outside 1-2.
My last name is based in Switzerland. It's Swiss. And based on what language you speak, it's spelled a different way. So there's 6 different spellings of my ancestor's last name.
Of Clodfelter?
It's Gladfelder. And then Clodfelter is the English speaking.
So I can understand a name like evolving in a way.
But if you go elsewhere in the world, it's spelled differently.
But I'm not sure Fisher is really of any sort of like...
You never know.
Well, I'd have to look into it, I guess.
Ancestry.com. Maybe I can get you that for Christmas.
Maybe that used to be a C and evolved to the right spelling with no C. The 1-2 is flown out to right field, I believe, as it is caught by McNamee. Camera work was a little bit rough there. That's okay, though. The Otters escaped the bases-loaded jam, though, somehow. It is still scoreless after 1, and that's a huge sigh of relief for Ryan O'Reilly and the Evansville Otters. So that takes us to the top half of the second inning. It'll be Mattis, Schultz, Gordon due up for the Evansville Otters when we return here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Every 6 minutes, a utility line is damaged due to reckless digging. So Indiana relies on these 811 superheroes. Derek the Builder.
I dig for a living, but I always contact 811.
Mary the Gardener.
Before I plant a tree, I contact 811.
And Mike the Contractor.
I contact 811 before I do my work.
Prevent damage or injury. Call 811 anytime or go online 811now.com. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and this station.
Come be a part of a nationally recognized program in criminal justice. The Criminal Justice Program at Oakland City University provides students with in-depth knowledge in the fields of law enforcement, forensics, corrections, and juvenile justice. Learn through hands-on experiences and train in areas of investigative forensics, criminology, and police administration. A career-focused major is in your reach and all in a Christian university setting that feels like home. Oakland City University.
We're heading to the top of the second after a very weird first inning that we all just want to eliminate from our memory. It'll be Mattis, Schultz, and Gordon due up for the Otters as they will be facing the right-hander and Zach Westcott. The Otters and Miners both had the bases loaded, and nobody scored a run.
What inning?
In the first inning,
no,
exactly.
No, I was following your
There you go. Okay, I like you. Okay.
Yeah. I hope so. We work too much together.
Okay, so they must have already missed a pitch or something. It's now quickly 2-1. I saw one pitch come down, or 1-2, excuse me. I'm all kinds of thrown off now.
And don't ask me about the momentum and Mike Shannon's rule of momentum, because after that first inning, I have no idea.
Mattis lines one through the right side. It'll be a base hit. That one was hit hard, and that's a good start for the Otters once again as they get the leadoff man on with some good speed in Gary Mattis, just like they had with Andy DeJesus, as that now brings up the longtime Otters veteran and legend, has his number retired at Boise Field, the starting left fielder John Schultz, wearing number 4.
Hashtag Miners Killer. Historically, one of the best all time, not only in Otters franchise history, but against the Southern Illinois Miners. John
Schultz has certainly been a foe for Southern Illinois for quite a while, as the first pitch to him is called strike at the knees, 0-1. And it's good to see Schultz get the start in left field again. We talked about it in the pregame. I believe it's just his second start in left field this season. He has started a couple times as a DH, but of course when you're a little bit older on the team, you're not going to play the field as much as he squares around a bunt, but then it's a pulled back as the caught stealing by Gary Mattis. I'm not sure if that was a situation where Schultz was supposed to still try to drop down the bunt or not, but Mattis is caught on the put out, 2-6 on the caught stealing.
Arturo Nieto did his best. Yadier Molina.
Nieto's got a good arm, too.
That was impressive. And it was thrown to the first base side of second.
The 1-1 now to Schultz with nobody on, and it's a called strike 1-2. He kind of gives David Bailey a long look at home plate. How do you feel about Mattis stealing on the second pitch of the at-bat?
I like it because, man, you're trying to create something offensively.
Schultz grounds it to the right side, but foul. Will stay at 1-2.
I mean, you can't just sit back and you know.
I think it seems to me Evansville's sick of not scoring runs.
Right.
They want to try to get something to happen.
Preston Leinebach is sick of it, and I'm sick of it, and you're sick of it. We're all sick of it.
Yeah, everybody listening is probably sick of it. See if Schultz can get the inning going once again as the 1-2 is a breaking ball very high as it's now 2-2. It looked like Westcott almost tried to quick pitch Schultz there with that windup. Miners wearing their black solid tops with white pants have the special law enforcement hat as we alluded to earlier as the 2-2 is fouled off. It'll remain that way. Preston was doing a little bit of research on what the hats look like. We haven't got like a good still shot of what the hat is.
Oh, he says they're all
different.
So kind of like our Negro League uniforms were all different with different
Which
Negro
I am
Leagues.
actually wearing the T-shirt from the Negro League night.
Yeah. Evansville African American
2-2 called strike on the inside part of the plate. Schultz does not like it. But it'll be the third strike called, and it'll be the second strikeout of the night for Westcott, and that'll bring up Miles Gordon with 2 outs and nobody on.
Our home plate umpire has called that a strike so far this evening, so it's consistent, so you got to take it.
Of course, it's only the second inning, so everyone's going to have to adjust to the strike zone. Schultz's first batter. I'm sure he'll show that he'll know that the next time he comes up to bat. But I'm with you. As long as it's consistent, that's all you can really ask for. First pitch on the inside part of the plate, called strike, 0-1.
Jevin Redmond and I, we both referee Indiana high school basketball, and even in basketball, you have to adjust to the style of how referees are officiating the game, if they're going to let it be physical or not.
Again, all you ask is for consistency.
Right, and that's what all the coaches in the wintertime in the state of Indiana ask for as well, trust me. That's the one main thing I hear, consistency.
Yep.
That's what I try for.
Consistently on their side, though, is what they really mean.
I sometimes use that rebuttal.
The 1-1 misses low and in. It's now 2-1 on the Otters center fielder, Miles Gordon, also number 8 hitter. In the on-deck circle, it's the catcher, Michael Gangwish. If Gordon were to reach and extend this inning. The 2-1 called strike on the inside part of the plate once again, 2-2, and that's the third time we've seen the pitch in that general location. It's been called a strike every single time.
Yep, and deuces are wild. Big Red.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Unfortunately, there are not 2 on. The 2-2. Swung on a miss. Gordon goes down swinging. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Westcott. 3 overall in the game, and the Otters go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. We move to the bottom half of the inning. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up from the Miners, Mang, Erickson, Nieto. When we come back, it's scoreless from Rent One Park on the Otters Digital Network and the Otters YouTube channel.
We love our kids and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield offers health insurance for children up to age 18 at low or no cost. From doctor visits to dental care, Anthem is here to put resources at your fingertips and simple solutions within your reach. And that is something to smile about. Call 1-800-403-0864 to enroll today. To learn more, visit anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
As we head to the bottom of the second inning, it's still scoreless in Marion, Illinois. Mang, Erickson, Nieto due up for the Miners. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Clodfelter, is the first pitch to Mang as a called strike, and Zane is pointing out something on the TV, and I'm not sure what it is.
So our monitor has a little score bug, and for a quick second, they actually gave the Otters a run inadvertently, so it was such a pleasant sight.
It was so quick, I missed it.
No, I saw it, and I thought, man, that can't be real, and it wasn't.
Well, maybe it's speaking into existence for the top of the third. The Otters currently have a 21 scoreless inning streak. As an offense, as the 0-2 misses just off the plate, it's now 1-2.
Have not scored since we last saw them in person working the game.
Wake Gary, bottom of the seventh.
Yeah.
1-2 swung on and missed as Ryan O'Reilly picks up his first strikeout. O'Reilly.
Auto parts. It's the Ryan Brown curse is what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? We don't have Ryan Brown anymore, so that's why they're not winning.
His charisma.
What is the quickest of broadcasters ever been fired? Because we might all get fired if they don't win this game. That wasn't a serious question.
As long as I'm fired just from this as public address.
Yeah, that's fair. That brings up
won a title with me doing public address in 16.
Here's the thing, though. The Otters also won a title with Jevin and I doing broadcasting, and that still hasn't worked out.
And we did the Frontier League Championship Series together on the road.
We did.
In 16 at River City.
First pitch to Erickson missed. The 1-0 is grounded to the left side, fielded by DeJesus at shortstop. It's thrown over to first in plenty of time. 6-3 on the putout. 2 quick outs for Ryan O'Reilly.
And then we waited for you after game number 4. The Otters in O'Fallon had a chance to clinch the Frontier League Championship on that Sunday. They weren't able to do that. I'm kind of glad they weren't able to do that
because they were able to clinch it at home.
And it was a lot more fun, the celebration.
It was a lot more fun. That brings up the catcher, Arturo Nieto. He had an RBI single, or a double, excuse me, in game number 1 of this series. He drove in Jared Mang as he scored the first run of that game. First pitch to Nieto is a called strike, 0-1. So Jared Mang struck out to begin this inning, swinging at the 1-2 pitch. Erickson grounded out to the shortstop to Jesus, 6-3. And now Nieto is almost hit with a fastball up, and then now it's 1-1. If he were to reach, that sends it back to the top of the order for Bryant Flette. And I feel like I mentioned this not only on Tuesday night, but also Wednesday night. When you get to these 2-out situations at the bottom of the order, you have to put them away. You do not want to continue the inning to the top of the order. 1-1, flown out to right, and it'll drop just over the head of Gary Mattis, as it was in between Mattis and McNamee. A little bloop single for Arturo Nieto, and that does extend the inning to Bryant Flette. Feels like the Otters have done that numerous times this year, or at least in this series, where they've gotten to the chance of getting out of the inning, and then they allow the base runner to reach with 2 outs, and that just continues the inning to the top of the order.
To Brian Flette, who already has a base hit. Leadoff base hit to start the home half of the first, just an inning ago.
He also had the RBI single that broke the scoreless tie last night in the 5th inning. Drove in his first run of the season. As the Miners leadoff hitter, batting from the left side, swings at the first pitch. It's foul on the right side, 0-1.
Best thing about last night was we did it at Bossy Field, and there was a very global outing, and Keith Milliken and Preston brought us food, and it was fantastic. Double hamburgers.
It wasn't the fireworks for you? It was the food?
Yeah, it was the food.
Because
we couldn't see the fireworks because of the roof. We could just see.
No, I can see the fireworks just fine.
Well, that's because you're shorter than me.
That's funny. It's also sitting further back from the table. Thank you, Zane. An 0-1 count runner at first base is the catcher, Arturo Nieto.
For those needing a visual, Jordan is shorter than me, though.
I am significantly shorter than you because you're like 6'5". The 0-1 in the dirt, or in the turf, excuse me, 1-1. I caught myself.
Good job. I take notes if you mess up.
Trying to better myself. This has been a long couple at bats for Ryan O'Reilly, as Flette continues to step out of the batter's box in this at bat. It didn't feel like a long at bat with Nieto, but he stepped out once or twice as well before singling over the head of the second baseman, Gary Mattis. O'Reilly's got his sign, the 1-1. Just misses the inside part of the plate. Now it's 2-1.
Here's the premise. I have to do another media obligation here later this evening, so I'll be here for a little bit. But if this game is still going on when I'm done with said media obligation, I can always come back and wrap up what I started.
We might get to have Zane Clodfelter on the game, not only in the beginning, but the end. The 2-1 fouled off. Now it's 2-2. However, I will, and I'm not a superstitious person, but if the Otters were to start to win and you're not here, you're not allowed to come back. That's the rules.
That's not allowed.
Just for tonight.
Okay.
If you leave and the Otters take the lead, if you leave and the Otters take the lead while you're gone, you cannot come back.
That's not allowed. That's not fair. The question is if they have a 10 run, that's when I'm not allowed.
What if they were to come back as the 2-2 is a little bit high? It's now 3-2 a full count, so Nieto will be off on the pitch. What if you come back and the Otters blow the lead? Then how will that make you feel?
Then it's just one of those weird series of the Frontier League that you just chalk it up.
We're only an inning and, well, I guess almost 2 full innings. I was going to say an inning and a half, but it's not quite. Still a half.
Strike away.
From 2 full innings, and this has been a weird ball game. Full count, 2 outs. Runner at first is Nieto. He'll be off on the pitch. The payoff is flown out to left field down the line, and a curve foul. Again, not a whole lot of foul territory down there, down the left field line. Schultz will track it down. Nieto will jog back to first base, and Flete will head back to the batter's box.
If he's playing golf, though, with that left field foul pole, though, he would have had a great birdie opportunity or an eagle chance.
This is true.
Just a tad bit foul, barely missed it.
So Flete will once again take his time getting in the batter's box. O'Reilly already up to 37 pitches in this ball game. Pitch number 38 coming home. That one's fouled off. We'll do it again.
Just a tad bit early on that one, but he knew that was the pitch he was looking for, just couldn't time it up.
And Nieto will take his time running back to first base once again. Beginning to think it's not crowd prompts. That is the problem with pace. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning as O'Reilly's got his sign and he delivers. It's in the turf, ball 4.
So Jordan Fisher, what you're saying is it has nothing to do with the outside environment of the Frontier League baseball game. It has to do with the on-the-field product of the actual athletes competing in this game.
Yes, and how Flete stepped out like 6 times in that at-bat.
That is noted on the record.
Okay. That brings up Yeltsin Godinho. I have no problem with that being on the record.
Same here.
Shortstop grounded out to the pitcher, Brian O'Reilly, in his first at-bat. It was a high chopper that O'Reilly managed to somehow knock down with his glove and still corral it and get Godinho at first base. He comes up with 2 on and 2 out. Runner in scoring position is Nieto, the catcher. Not tremendous speed from Nieto. First pitch to Godinho. He's swinging as he swings through a changeup, 0-1.
Remember this now threatening situation for Evansville in terms of letting Southern Illinois score first started with just a bloop single with 2 outs.
Yep. This 2-out rally started with that base hit for Nieto and then a walk with Flete. Brings up Godinho with a chance to do some damage as the 0-1 misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's kind of feel like it's been the story for the Otters this series, is when they've given up runs, it hasn't been from hard contact. It's been a lot of weak contact that's led to the innings kind of snowballing a little bit. Check on the runner at second. Long stare by O'Reilly. Now he'll step off. Thought he was going to deliver home. He faked me out.
We've thought that a lot tonight so far, both starting pitchers for the Otters and the Miners.
This is very true.
A lot of action, though, on the base paths here early.
Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Clodfelter, as the 1-1 too low. It's now 2-1. Preston Leidenbach also here. Jevin Redmond is present but not participating tonight as he has a lot of work to catch up on. He's
making dinner, though.
Had quite a bit to do the last 2 days, so I definitely do not blame him. And he is making dinner. I don't know what he's making, but I'm sure it'll be delicious. 2-1. And it's a line drive in the left field as they're going to hold up Nieto. Oh, no, they are going to send Nieto. Throw is cut off. That'll score the Miners' first run of this ball game. An RBI single from Yeltsin Godinho. And once again, a 2-out rally started by the Miners results in a run scoring on a base hit to left field this time by Yeltsin Godinho.
Yeah, it was Michael Gangwish backing up Ryan O'Reilly, and because of that, backing up Ryan O'Reilly to make sure he fielded that cleanly on the throw back into the infield, had to kind of vacate his position in front of home, and that allowed the third base coach for the Miners to go ahead and give the sign to try and score.
So that brings up Nolan Early, the Miners right fielder. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but the third base coach actually held him up, and then he started waving. So I think to your point, it was a little bit of positioning issue there. Maybe they didn't expect Schultz to actually throw the ball into the infield.
Nolan Early is a Hoosier. He is from Anderson, Indiana, and you know what famous landmark they no longer use but still stands that's in Anderson, Indiana, right?
I should know this because I went to school in Muncie, which is right next to Anderson. I know there's a Waffle House there.
A little more.
Does that count as a landmark?
For some people, yes.
No, Mrs. Lowe, it's 1-1.
No, it's the Wigwam, one of the biggest high school gyms in the country, and because of cost, it's over $8,000. They haven't used it in a couple of years, but there's a campaign to get it back.
The 1-1 and the turf 2-1. Colts camp used to be up in Anderson, correct?
Right. But yeah, the Anderson Wigwam, which the reason why they haven't demolished it yet, even though the high school basketball team hasn't used it in years, is there's still a political battle trying to bring that back. And honestly, I hope they do.
2 balls, 1 strike as O'Reilly's trying to work out of the second inning without allowing another run as he gets a pop-up down the left field line. It's in foul territory. Will Davis get there? He tries to make the over-shoulder catch, but just out of his reach, so it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. I brought up the Colts camp thing because I believe it was back in the summer of 2012 I actually went up there for Colts camp.
Andrew Luck's rookie year.
Yes. And it was a lot of fun.
It is.
I was working third shift at Berry Plastics then.
Okay.
At that time. Now it's Berry Global.
So that's why we got the free food last night. It was your hookup, Big Red.
No, not quite. I only worked there as one summer.
My dad used to work at Berry Plastics, and my brother-in-law works there right now.
But I actually say that because I worked there one summer, and it was a good experience. Everyone I worked with was great. It was tough work, though. Factory work is not for everybody.
Oh.
And being third shift and as a college kid, you like to try to have a little bit of a social life as the 2-2s found off, and it'll continue on. But the reason I say that is there was one day that a bunch of my friends wanted to go. I say a bunch. It was like 3 of my friends wanted to go up to Anderson for Colts camp. So we left really early in the morning, and we got up to Anderson in time for Colts camp, drove up. I did. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get to sleep on the way home. Nope, I got to drive home.
Too many Bud Lights at Colts camp?
No, it was too many energy drinks because I was still awake somehow. 2-2 Mrs. Lowe. It's now a full count for early. Both runners will be in motion on the pitch. But I say that just as a quick story because we actually went to a Waffle House up there, and that's why I remember Anderson having a Waffle House, because that was like one of the places you could eat right off the highway. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out for the Southern Illinois Miners. The payoff pitch, called strike inside part of the plate. Early flips his bat and gives a little bit of a word to home plate umpire David Bailey, but Ryan O'Reilly unable to prevent Southern Illinois from scoring. However, he does get out of the jam as he only allows 1 run despite having those 2 runners on. And we head to the top of the third. Southern Illinois with the early lead, 1-0, as the Otters are coming up to bat. It will be Gangwish to Jesus McNamee due up for the Otters in the top of the third when we come back here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Fix up your home with Heritage. Our home improvement financing options can help you change your home now and pay for it over time. Upgrade your home. Make home repairs. remodel a kitchen, build a new deck, add a new room, remodel your bath, update appliances. Whether it's a small weekend project or a large renovation, Heritage Federal Credit Union can help you finance your improvements today. Fix up your home with Heritage.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
First pitch to Michael Gangwish was a breaking ball for a called strike as we are underway in the top of the third. Evansville find themselves down 1-0 after an RBI single from Yeltsin Godinho scored Arturo Nieto as the 0-1 is a called strike. 0-2, Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Clodfelter, Preston Leimenbach in our studio, a.k.a. Jevin Redmond's apartment, as we are doing this game remotely from Evansville, Indiana, as the Otters are playing in Marion, Illinois. 0-2 fought off and fouled. It's still going to stay 0-2. Jevin is still over there cooking something. What you cooking, Jevin?
Yeah, what is he cooking?
Just chicken. What were we going to say? The Miners? The Otters?
And the Otters are playing Southern Illinois. Jevin's making chicken. Fully cooked chicken. Yum.
Zane, how many days until IU football? Because I know you're dying to tell me.
16, my man.
There we go.
16. And 9 days until
And they're going to call that a strikeout. I think they're going to say Gangwish leaned into it.
Jevin just asked, is that 16 until the first game or the first home game? So that's the opener at Iowa, a top 20 battle with the Hoosiers 17th in the AP Bowl, the Hawkeyes 18th. It's 23 days until I'll be on assignment elsewhere from the Otters home game on September 11th.
I know you're excited about it.
Against the Potatoes of Idaho, the Vandals, what they're also called. Nothing like a FCS opponent to open the home schedules.
If IU loses to Idaho, I will never let you live that down. First pitch to Andy DeJesus is low and in for ball one.
No, but I'm looking forward to it. Be at the first. I have season tickets for IU football for their home games, and I'll also be in Bowling Green late in September if the Otters aren't in the postseason. Enjoying the Hilltoppers and Hoosiers with my dad.
1-0 swinging for DeJesus as he flies it into center field. Manning settles underneath of it and he puts it away for out number 2. I'm still trying to figure out what happened on Gangwish's at bat. I was really hoping they would play a replay. The only thing I can figure is it looked like he kind of leaned towards the ball. I thought it was going to be called a ball initially, but then the home plate umpire, after a long pause, pointed and called third strike. So
it did happen last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is what the call was.
Preston Leimenbach makes a great point.
A great point.
Strive for perfection, settle for excellence.
Exactly. McNamee swinging first pitch. He fouls it off. It's now 0-1 as the Otters right fielder is up to bat. He drew a walk in his first at-bat, reached second base, and did not get to advance any further as that inning ended with a double play. The 0-1 to McNamee. It's a called strike at the knees, 0-2.
I don't know what accent that was.
It's just, you got a little tongue-tied. It's okay. Sound like some guy from the Looney Tunes. What's that guy's name? I can't think of it right now. I'll think of it during the break. The 0-2 count as that's up and away, excuse me. Up and up. 1-2.
My favorite Looney Tune was the Tasmanian Devil, because as a kid I had a Tasmanian Devil Indiana basketball sweatshirt, and I loved wearing that thing to school.
Tasmanian Devil was the coolest of the Looney Tunes when I was a kid.
Yeah, he was
I agree
great.
with that. 1-2 outside. It's now 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Elijah McNamee. They're not super wild. They're just kind of wild. Westcott working from the windup. He throws a breaking ball, and ball is lifted down the right field line, and Early's going to track it down in the corner for out number 3. So once again, the Otters go scoreless in the top of the third. That extends their scoreless streak to, I believe, 22 innings. And we'll head to the bottom half of the third, where Ryan O'Reilly will be dealing with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters of Southern Illinois. Sandoval, Walters, Brocato due up for the Miners when we come back on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
Sandoval, Walters, Brocano due up for the Miners as we head to the bottom half of the third inning. Ryan O'Reilly back on the mound for the Otters after allowing 1 run in the bottom half of the second inning. The Otters' bats have gone quiet since that first inning when they had the bases loaded and they were threatening 3 up, 3 down in each of the last 2 halves. And O'Reilly hoping to put up a 0 and maybe see Evansville get their bats going once again. Sandoval stepping in for his second plate appearance. He drew a walk in his first plate appearance as the first pitch is a called strike on a slider low in the zone, 0-1. O'Reilly got the frames on.
He always does.
I've never noticed that. Of course, I've worked many games at the Otters, but usually I'm in production as the 0-1 is grounded to Jesus, fielded in the hole. It bounces short the stretch from Phillips, and it's in time. Waiting for the call from the first base umpire there, as it was Preston Childers. 1 out, 6-3 on the putout.
Awesome play there by Andy DeJesus, and then awesome stretch there by Dakota Phillips.
I don't know if he could stretch much more. He really, really stretched for that one.
Looking like Gumby.
And I almost wonder if Childers was waiting to see if his foot came off the bag.
After that kind of effort, just
give it to him.
Give it to him,
yeah. That brings in Ian Walters, the Miners' third baseman. He grounded into a fielder's choice on what was a very wacky play in the first inning. First pitch called a strike. He had the bases loaded. He grounded right to Dakota Phillips. We all thought he stepped on the bag and threw it home, but Phillips just threw it home for the force out. As the 0-1 is fouled off, it's now 0-2.
The one thing is the camera that we thought we saw that with has been out of focus all night, so imagine wearing glasses and not having your glasses and then trying to make a call. That's what we were trying to do.
No balls, 2 strikes. O'Reilly working from the windup as he misses outside. It's now 1-2.
Now it's in focus.
I mean, hey, they must have heard you talking about it.
They're not listening. Or are they?
They might be. 1 ball, 2 strikes as this one's grounded down the first base line, and it is fair as Phillips picks it up and tags first base, 3 unassisted on the putout.
Then a nice shot of the Miners dugout there.
That's why I was trying to figure out if the ball was down the line. If it was in Phillips' glove, I could not tell.
Right. For a second, I thought it was foul.
We're doing the best we can over here. Of course, that comes with the territory of doing a game remotely, but
We're trying to convince Preston to spend money on a drone that we can just fly remotely to Marion and provide our own camera angle. We'll call it the P1, the Preston 1.
There you go. First pitch to Mercado is fouled off behind home plate, 0-1.
Preston, is that in the budget? He says perhaps. All right.
That leaves the door open. O'Reilly hoping for a quick bottom of the third inning as the 0-1 misses high, 1-1. It was the exact same story in the bottom half of the second. It was a strikeout and a ground out. This time it's a pair of ground outs. And then in the bottom half of the second, it was the 2-out single that continued the inning. So if you're O'Reilly, you really want to make sure you put away Anthony Mercado here as the 1-1 misses up, and then it's now 2-1. Those 2-out rallies will come back to get you every single time. 2 balls and a strike. The delivery. It's a high fly ball into shallow right field. McNamee coming in as he puts it away. 3 up, 3 down for O'Reilly. Some positive momentum for the Otters as they come back up to bat. We'll see if they can break this scoreless streak. They'll have the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Davis, Crane, Phillips when we come back here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Welcome to a place that feels like home. A place that cares about all of you. Built to help you grow in more ways than you can possibly imagine. To make new friends, travel new paths, soar to new heights, and deepen your spiritual experience. Welcome to Oakland City University.
Heading to the top of the fourth as the Evansville Otters are coming back up to bat. J.R. Davis will lead things off for Evansville as they are looking to score their first run of this ball game, tie it up, maybe take the lead. Really just purely want to break this scoreless inning streak as they currently sit at 21 innings scoreless. No, 22, I believe. It was 19 coming into tonight.
It is 22.
3 innings of 22.
We bring that up. We bring in Preston Leinenbach.
And hopefully he's the good luck charm as the first pitch to Davis is a called strike on the outer half, 0-1.
He's also been here the last couple of games as well. So.
You know, but he hasn't always been on the game. There are levels to this, Zane.
Okay.
0-1 fastball called strike, 0-2. So we are joined by Preston Leinenbach, who was working very diligently, I will say, in the pregame to make sure that we sounded okay. 0-2 is lined to the right side, and it's a base hit into right field for J.R. Davis. He has 2 hits now, both of them to right field. And once again, the Otters get the leadoff man on to begin the inning. They have done that 3 of the first 4 innings of tonight's ball game. We'll see if they can actually capitalize this time.
Here we go.
That brings up Riley Crane.
We're never going to score. We're never going to score.
Sometimes we talked about the weird plays that we've seen in this game, specifically in that first inning. But the best way to avoid a weird play? You hit the ball over the fence, and it's just gone. Riley Crane can certainly do that. First pitch to Crane inside, ball 1.
Quite the philosopher you are. You notice they're pitching Riley Crane inside on what seems like every single pitch. They don't want him to extend and get that power.
And right now, we don't see Gudino on the screen from the center field camera shot, so there's a very good chance that he has shifted over behind second base completely as the 1-0 is swung on and missed. It's 1-1.
The shift isn't any fun. I hate the shift.
Would you? Okay, we're going to start this conversation then. Are you in favor of banning the shift?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if you want to move a guy a couple of feet over, then fine.
But not the extreme shift?
Right.
1-1 is hit well out to right field, but it's right out the right fielder. And it'll be out number 1 as Crane with some bad luck there.
That was hit on a rope.
It was hit hard.
Yeah, I'm all about the rules of maybe having, you have 2 guys on each side of second base. Now, if the shortstop wants to be as close to the second base bag as he wants without crossing, I guess, an imaginary line, so be it. But
I just wonder how something like that would be enforced. Like, how would you penalize a team if they would it be like a balk or like a?
I would say umpire's discretion, right?
Right, but let's say that, for instance, like Gudina right now is standing on the shortstop side of the bag, but he's basically standing right behind the pitcher. If he crosses that imaginary line as the first pitch to Dakota Phillips is up for ball 1, if he crosses that line, do you just award a base runner like the next base, or is it an automatic ball? I just wonder how that would be policed. I'm asking as an open-ended question because I have absolutely no idea.
Let's ask Bill Lee. Let's get him on the line right now.
I mean,
yeah. Bill Lee is unavailable. He will not answer your phone call. Well, that's a bummer. Voicemail.
You've reached the voicemail of Bill Lee. Please leave it after the message.
And he was just at Bossy Field on Friday to give a special plaque to our good friend Boots Day. 55 seasons, 56 years in professional baseball.
2-0 called strike on the outer half of the plate for Phillips. It's now 2-1. Davis is the runner at first base after he singled for his second time tonight. He's 2 for 2, and he stands over at that first base bag. 1 out for the Otters in the top of the 4th. I'm sure Bill Lee would love to get a call from you, though, about, hey, can we talk about banning the shift?
He loves going on Otters TV, I can tell you that much. Anytime we ask him to do an Otters TV thing, he's all for it.
2-1 foul back to the screen. It's now 2-2. Of course, that's something you guys have started in the last couple of years. I know the Otters Digital Network was birthed in 2017, which we've already discussed. When did Otters TV really become a focus?
Also 2017.
Was it 17?
Kind of hand in hand. Allows
hand in hand with Preston's arrival. It's kind of weird.
How
does that work?
And Zane hiring Preston, right? When we were the power team.
Preston. So what I'm figuring out is everything is about Preston right now. He has got his hand in everything. The lights, the scoreboard, Otters Digital Network, Otters TV, us doing this game tonight in general. Like,
he's the man. He renegotiated my contract.
We went to Bossy Field.
He's my agent.
To Bossy Field last night.
No, true story.
During the wait, really?
Preston's the one who negotiates my contract with the team, so I would say so.
You're just kind of at his discretion then. But we went to Bossy Field last night. We did the game Tuesday in Jevin's apartment. We're doing it again tonight in Jevin's apartment. But we went to Bossy Field last night because of the Barry Global event. Preston had to be there to control the lights.
He's the only one on staff that knows how to turn everything on.
So we went to Bossy Field so he could still help us.
Right.
Like that's
needy.
How that we are very needy.
We're very needy.
2-2, swung on a miss, strike 3 for Dakota Phillips. He's now 0 for 2 tonight. And that brings up Gary Mattis with 2 on and a runner at first base.
And now I'm just sitting here thinking about they somehow figuring out on the next road trip we do this over Zoom. And then we can do it from our own place and see how it all comes together.
I would prefer to be in person because I don't want to do Zoom.
I love you guys too much to do it remotely.
I live on the far west side. I have no issue making this drive.
Yeah, I live downtown. I'm central to everywhere.
But then the people can see us.
That's a good point.
Put us on video.
Well,
would be fun.
Then what we do is we set up a camera and you link it to YouTube, and we just do it that way.
I do have great interior decorations.
We have cameras. Zane just wants us to come to his apartment. The one and only Madison called strike.
See all my IU memorabilia and autographed items.
Like that helmet you got.
At the ballpark from Indiana football coach Tom Allen that was delivered to Bossy Field because of my business card.
1 ball, 1 strike to Mattis. He lays off the high heater. It's now 2-1.
Can't make this stuff up, Jordan.
I think you showed it to every single possible person.
I cried when I opened it.
That gives clearly it meant a lot to you. But the second I went in the press box that day, you were like, "Hey, look what I got!" and you showed it to me. And
I showed Steve Hassler. He had no care in the world to see what I had gotten in the mail from the IU Hoosier football coach.
2-1 pitch is a called strike. It's now 2-2. But you were like so excited about it, and it was a full-sized game day helmet
that they actually wore on the field.
Yeah. 2-2. And it's fouled off as Mattis barely gets a piece. It stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
So that is my assignment on September 11th, is to go with my dad and enjoy our season tickets for the IU home opener, and they'll presumably still be in the top 25, regardless if they win or lose week 1. So it'll be fun.
I'm not sure anybody would have been able to predict that with how avid you are about IU football.
I'll keep it quiet, though, on the day of, not to rub it into those still working at Bosse Field that day like Preston and you.
2-2 misses. It's now full, so Davis will be off on the pitch. Madison, a 3-2 count. He reached with a single in his first at-bat, but then got caught stealing, trying to swipe second base. Zane noted that Nieto's throw was very Yadier Molina-like.
It was.
3-2 high, ball 4 for Mattis. That'll put him on base at first, and Davis will advance up to second base, and now John Schultz comes up to bat.
There we go.
As you mentioned, the Miners killer gets a chance to drive in a run and break this scoreless streak.
Yeah, runner in scoring position. And Preston, he's been around long enough to see some magical moments, especially in 2017, Preston's first year with the organization. Saw some John Schultz in his prime, which he's still in his prime, but a little bit younger.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I both agree that's a team. Obviously, Schaumburg was really good that year, but that was a team that basically was replicated of 2016 and had a very good chance of going back-to-back.
Yeah, just right into Schaumburg in the division series there, dropping that series 3-1, and
we won't talk super
and of course,
details
some
about
mid-season signings off to affiliated baseball as well.
Yeah, that really impacted that team, to be honest with you, and also an 18.
1-0 inside, now it's 2-0. I was going to say we won't talk about it in super depth, but 2015 they also had a really good team, and we all know what happened with 2015. But 2015, 2016, 2017 were 3 very good Evansville Otters baseball teams.
And I will tell you, as someone who was there in 2015 and was there in 16 as well, that 15 team was more talented than the 16 team.
2-0, called strike, now 2-1. And that reminds me, as a Colts fan, which I believe we all are here, that reminds me of the 2005 Colts team.
Right, that
lost to Pittsburgh was better than the 2006 Colts team that won the Super Bowl.
Well, ask Bobby Knight in Bloomington. His best all-time team, he'll tell you, is the 75 Hoosiers. That
before the 76 Hoosiers, right.
Before they ended up winning the title and going undefeated in 76. So it's weird how sports can work like that, where sometimes the most deserving of teams that you put together don't get the fruits of their labor, and it's the aftermath that does.
I will say, on the other hand, it still feels like it's almost like okay, this is a deserved ending after how the previous season didn't go as it should have, right?
For sure, and justice was felt in 2016.
Exactly.
The best team that year was Southern Illinois, and they were upset in their division series.
I remember them going on a scorching tear in the middle of the summer.
They did.
They won something like 20 out of 24 games or something like that.
Won 60-plus games, but then in a best-of-5 playoff series, all that's for naught. You have to basically play in the moment, and River City
throw
did.
the records out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Miners do own the Frontier League record for consecutive wins with 20.
That's impressive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as Schultz fouls off yet another pitch. It's 3 foul balls.
Which is
in this at bat.
Like a 6th of the season.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Indians did that in Major League Baseball, I think in 2017 or 18, where they hit 20-plus victories.
A 5th of the season.
Yep. Of course, a lot of people think of the A's because of the movie Moneyball and their streak.
Oh, yes.
Which, by the way, that is one of my favorite movies. Just such an amazing movie all around.
I'm not going to name names, but according to some of my sources, they do not like that movie with a passion.
I'm interested to hear about this in the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's a called 3rd strike from John Schultz as he is caught looking inside once again. 2 strikeouts for Schultz tonight as the Otters strand 2 runners on and once again do not get a run across. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Miners. Meng, Erickson, Nieto coming up in the bottom of the 4th as Ryan O'Reilly will be back on the mound. Otters trail at 1-0 on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
We're heading to the bottom of the fourth. It's still 1-0 in favor of Southern Illinois as the Otters got 2 on, but stranded both of them on base. Ryan O'Reilly back on the hill for the Otters as he is facing Mang, Erickson, and Nieto. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Southern Illinois Miners, the same three that started the second inning. And Mang swings first pitch. He hits it well out to left field, and they're only showing Mang running, so I don't know where the ball is.
It's a home run.
Is it a home run or did it bounce over the wall? I have absolutely no idea what's going on. It is a home run. So, Jared, all they showed was Jared Mang running. So,
we're all just doing our best here.
No, I mean, I can't tell you what is going to happen if they don't show the ball,
including their production.
And I just guessed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, the ball was over the wall, so I mean that makes sense, I guess. But
well, that's not good.
Not a good start. First pitch in the inning, and Jared Mang hits a home run. Jared Mang also had the 2-out, 2 RBI single last night to extend the lead to 3-0 in the 8th inning for the Miners, and they are showing every single angle of this home run except the one where the ball is actually in play.
Look, Steve Tassler, we have this camera and this camera and that camera.
Cody Erickson swinging at the first pitch as well, but he fouls it off.
Oh, and here's the angle from the Goodyear blimp. I'm sorry.
Just like we're doing our best, they're doing their best.
Right.
0-1 count for Erickson. He hits it out to left field. Schultz trying to track it down, but it's going to bounce in front of him. And that will be the single for Cody Erickson.
Speaking from experience, I give him credit, though. Sometimes having actual operators there is sometimes hard to come by.
Right. But here's the thing. They're being operated. If they were stagnant cameras that were zoomed out, we probably would have more success with this operation, would you think?
Yes.
Yeah, but I do like the close-up and the follows, like this shot right here, of following the batter to the batter's box.
Yeah, no, Preston, it is certainly nice to have active camera operators, that is for sure. And there have been times this year where we have not had them at all of our cameras, and we do the best we can with it. But
sometimes our camera operators get distracted, our fans ask questions.
This is very true, and that is on the fans for bugging them. My favorite is whenever a fan walks past a camera and they realize that it's a camera that's live and they come back and try to be funny and get in front of it. I'm like, I'm not going to put you on the screen.
So that's when we need to threaten them to make it a B-reel on Otters TV of bloopers, and then they'll just make our blooper reel at the end of the season.
No, you don't want to validate them with anything because then they'll continue to do it.
Yeah, but if they make a fool of themselves, then they'll never want to do it
They'll
again.
think it's funny, and they'll be like, I'm going to do it again. See? From the stretch, Ryan O'Reilly working an 0-1 count to Arturo Nieto. He swings through the slider. It's now 0-2. He just gave up a base hit to Erickson that dropped in the left field in front of Schultz. So Cody Erickson, the first baseman, is at first base. Nobody down here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. A leadoff home run by Jared Mang added another run to the Miners' total. It's now 2-0. See if we can't refresh and get a score update here from Florence in Sussex County. 0-2 outside. It's now 1-2. It looks like bottom of the sixth, Sussex County is leading 7-6. There's a lot of sixes there in Sussex. And
hey, I've made that mistake over the PA system, and
again,
people have heard it.
Strive for perfection, settle for excellence.
I'm just going to call you George H.W. Bush. Older fans will know his famous Freudian slip talking about Ronald Reagan.
1 and 2 is bounced about 3 feet in front of home plate. It's now 2 and 2. I'm going to be honest, I have absolutely no idea.
It's on YouTube. About. I'm not going to bring it up. Just YouTube.
I will YouTube it later.
Yeah. Also,
we were talking about Moneyball before we went to the break.
Since we're on YouTube, you can just go to
the
next video after
in
this
between
broadcast.
breaks. Preston has got to the point, he doesn't even have the headset on. He was just holding the mic in front of his head. Like, he was just holding it right there in front of his face. I respect it, honestly. 2-2, bouncing the turf once again. It's a full count for Nieto. Runner at first base is Erickson. Nobody out. I wouldn't expect Erickson to be running, but you could try it just to make sure you're preventing the double play. If you put the ball in play, you know, there's always the strikeout, throw out double play. Or we saw a fly out double play. I think it was Tuesday night for the Otters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That seems so long ago.
3-2 hit into center field as Gordon's got a line on it. He makes the catch. It's 1 away now in the inning.
Yeah, fly out to right field, 9-3. The first baseman being the relay man, and then back to second base with the shortstop. 9-3-6.
It was a weird play. It's a weird series.
Before I do depart, at least for the time being,
Zane's just bragging now that he gets to get out of here.
Do want to remind everybody about 90s Night, the Arc of Evansville, Chick McGee, Josh Arnold from the Bob and Tom Show. My understanding is they too are going to have their own free T-shirts because that's what they announced on their own radio program. So multiple T-shirts being given away.
And Zane got himself a shout out on the Bob and Tom Show. As the first pitch swinging by Flete is into right field. McNamee with a strong throw to third. Close play at third base, and they call him out as Erickson came off the bag. A good tag by J.R. Davis. So that'll be a single, and then 9-5 on the putout. That was a strong throw by McNamee.
That was a great throw and good heads-up awareness, knowing that, hey, the way the momentum of that Miners base runner is going to take him potentially off the third base bag, apply the tag and keep the tag on, and if he steps off, then he's fair game for an out.
So that play by Flete and McNamee really interrupted the story I was about to tell, but you got a shout-out today.
I did.
Chick
McGee said I was a great guy.
Said you follow him on Twitter? And
he follows me on Twitter.
He follows you on Twitter?
We follow each other. The Westwood One radio audience nationwide heard that. So, yeah, they'll be here. And, of course, Bob and Tom, based in Indiana, but nationally syndicated on over 100 radio stations on Westwood One across the country and on the Armed Forces Radio Network as well.
Yeah, they've been talking about this game tomorrow night for the last couple of weeks. So
no, they've been hyping it up.
Yeah, they're helping us out promote it.
So please show up so you can entertain Chick McGee and Josh Arnold.
Get yourself a really cool shirt, too.
Yeah, it's a How About Ya t-shirt from Chick McGee. That's his catchphrase. I know that because I listen to the Bob and Tom Show 4 hours a day, every day.
First pitch to Gudino is a ball. It looks like Flete also advanced a second on that throw from McNamee to third base to nail Erickson for the second out of the inning. Just trying to keep up on the update here. 1 ball, 0 strikes to Gudino. It misses inside. It's now 2-0.
And honestly, guys, we all did our different things during the pandemic. I ran a lot. We had to stay inside, and Bob and Tom, through the pandemic, they were always live and socially distanced. They helped me get through the pandemic when I couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't go anywhere as a society.
That's very true. 2-0 is way above the head of Gudino. Goes to the backstop. Flete will advance to third base in the wild pitch.
And of course, we do send our best wishes to Tom Griswold, who's one of the namesakes. Bob Kavoyan retired a couple of years ago after they were inducted to the National Radio Hall of Fame. But Tom Griswold is still active, but he just had emergency heart surgery, so he's on the mend for a couple of weeks. So right now it's the Bob and Tom Show with
neither Bob nor Tom.
But they're still going.
So after that last pitch, should I go ahead and say this?
Go ahead.
That might have been closer than Ryan's first pitch the other day.
It was. All right. He tried to do a knuckleball with Andy McCauley catching him.
No,
what a jerk.
Wait, what?
No, that's what he said.
Oh, he's only saying that because the ball sailed. It's now.
I don't know, man.
Called strike.
He said he gave the sign to Andy.
He loves throwing knuckleballs.
Well, he needs to practice.
He's not good at it.
Ryan, love you, dude, but you need to practice your knuckleball. You're going to be throwing that. 3-1 fouled off. It's now a full count to Gudino. I don't believe that he threw a knuckleball.
Did
he really?
He was adamant. I don't know, but then again, he was adamant about a lot of things.
Besides, like when you throw a knuckleball, like you don't really throw it as much as you push it, right? That way the ball knuckles.
I just like how Steven, our MC that day, threw Andy McCauley under the bus when Andy was just trying to catch Ryan Brown's stupid first pitch.
He said it was a pass ball.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, that's an error on the catcher." I'm like, I wouldn't want to say that about Andy if I were you, but don't throw him.
I did get to show that on the stream a couple times for enjoyment. The payoff pitch to Gudinho. Fouled off once again. We'll do it again.
Because Andy's still going to be around. You don't want to make Andy mad because he's always going to be at Bossy Field. Ryan's getting ready to leave, so you can make him mad.
Yeah,
Throw him under the bus.
Exactly.
It was horrible, Ryan. Andy had no choice but to miss
Well,
it.
have we all thrown out a first pitch? Preston, have you thrown out a first pitch at Bossy Field?
Yes.
Did you get to in 17?
2017.
3-2 outside to Gudinho. It's a walk.
What?
Zane is upset.
I don't think we started the intern first pitch thing until 18.
I did it in 16.
I swore in
Then we must have skipped a year because I don't remember any of our interns.
Although I was being very annoying about it and asking to do a first pitch in like very passive aggressive ways.
Okay, fine. If the Otters make the postseason, then the Otters' first home game,
Preston's getting it.
Preston line them back because I've thrown out a playoff first pitch and a regular season one.
Because I don't remember like Jacqueline, Sarah.
She did it because remember we had the
Michael
baseball card of Jacqueline.
I don't remember Donovan doing one.
I'll have to ask Jevin in between innings if he did a first pitch.
He says
did
no.
not do a first pitch. I wasn't sure if he was working in that room behind us or not.
He is.
First pitch to Nolan early is a called strike 0-1. He struck out looking in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a single. He was stranded at third earlier in the Miners' very weird situation with their bases loaded scenario in the first inning. 0-1 is in the turf. Blocked by Gangwish, and it looks like Gudinho stayed at first base, so it's 1-1. Runners in the corners, 2 out. And if you're Evansville, the one guy you don't want to see at the plate is this guy.
Good to see him back in the lineup after taking that one off the kneecap.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last night.
Injuries aren't fun for anybody.
Ball and strike, 2 away. O'Reilly's got his sign. A long pause, and he delivers. Fastball at the letters, called strike. It's now 2-1.
I am looking for Keith.
Or 1-2, excuse me.
Where's my double hamburger?
That would
I
be-
stole Jordan Fisher's ketchup and mustard last night after the game. And
I grabbed my plate. I was like, where did all this ketchup and mustard go that I didn't use?
They were in packets. So
Zane swiped it.
double the ketchup, double the mustard. Trevor
Keith
Bell
is
knows.
probably at home listening to us and restringing his guitar. Him and I made a trip to Guitar Center today, and I was looking for some audio equipment to help out with our setup at Bossy Field. He went with
Cool Hand Blue.
Cool Hand Blue got himself some new strings and going to work on that, he said.
Who's he going to perform as tomorrow night?
We've been trying to convince him. No one.
Really?
Doesn't want to perform for Chick McGee and Josh Arnold from the Bob and Tom Show.
Probably afraid of embarrassing himself or something. I don't know.
No, he
I
was
thought his
great
Elvis.
the first
I thought his Elvis impression was great. And was it 70s? He was like a camp counselor.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I don't remember what
Whatever that, I
That
know.
was the costume.
Okay, what was I don't remember who he as the 1 and 2 is throwing down the second, but nobody covering as Gudinho was off on the pitch, so he will jog into third. That'll allow the runner from third, Flete, to score easily. That's got to be, I would think, an E2. Although nobody covered the bag either.
I mean, the throw was pretty good though from Gangwish. That's the thing.
Yeah, just that's where he's just trusting his second baseman or somebody to cover, and nobody covered.
So a missed sign, perhaps, or
either that or the infielder's just caught napping. So I would think that would go as an E2. We're going to check the live stats.
an error has been given to Evansville.
And just to finish out about tomorrow, the pregame ceremonies are pretty tight on the schedule, so it may not have been enough room for Cool Hand Blue this time around to fit into the pregame ceremonies.
Yeah, and Bob and Tom guest are going to do some guest PA as well.
2-2's hit out into the gap in left center field as Schultz fields it. That'll bring home another run as Early is in with a double. A 2-out double, and then it's now 4-0.
So that's what they actually talked about on the show. They were giving us their itinerary. of showing up at the ballpark. Chick McGee said that they'll be at the front gate to welcome fans, and you can say hello or you suck. They said that verbatim on the broadcast this morning. And then later in the game, they'll come join me upstairs, and they'll sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and entertain all of us.
Yeah, the itinerary that I kind of helped them.
Yes, he was reading verbatim this morning, so feel good, Preston. You get a special shout-out,
Gates
too.
will be at 5:30, first pitch. The ceremonial first pitch at 6:15. They need to start making their way to the first base gate at 6. The game starts at 6:35 approximately. Might be 34 since we've been early the last
Been
few
on
games.
a pretty good pace the last few games.
Let's see. I think I just left a few innings for them to either go back out front or if they want to just sit and enjoy the game, do what they want.
I'm going to give them a little care package.
Fifth inning, up to them if they want to help out with the center point of the game with throwing out the light bulbs and maybe if they have some shirts available still. There's also the Signorama, maybe if they want to go out and steal some signs.
They probably won't want to help with the
That would be cool to have them do that competition against each other.
And they would get the joke, too, I'm pretty sure. So,
no, because Chick McGee talked about the Houston Astros, but the light bulbs they won't like because today they threw bagels that Josh Arnold
I saw the video of that.
So their arms are shot.
Right.
I might actually get them that bagel that Josh Arnold didn't like just to see if he throws that for his first pitch instead of a baseball.
And then the 6th and 7th inning for them to make their way to the press box. One doing guest PA, the other on the radio, and then they can flip it or whatever. And then, of course, be partners in crime with you on the 7th inning stretch.
And Preston likes Josh Arnold because he's a big St. Louis Blues fan, being the St. Louis native.
I didn't put anything out for him after the 7th because I figured, well, they may want to hit the road back to Indianapolis at a reasonable time. So
I'm curious if they actually have their own chauffeur and driver. I'm sure they do.
I would think so.
Sure
I wouldn't think they travel alone.
Probably, the bottom time PR person's probably coming with them, I'd assume.
Yeah, or like an intern to drive them.
Just to give an update on this inning, it's now 3-0 as Ryan O'Reilly is facing Ariel Sandoval.
So come on out to the ballpark tomorrow night.
And then Public Education Foundation and Princess Night
on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Dog Days of Summer on Sunday.
And then 3 more games next week.
In the Vandenberg Humane Society will be out there on Sunday for Dog Days of Summer. So to my understanding, they'll have a few of their friendly canines with them up for adoption.
I don't know if that ball hit Sandoval or not, but it was thrown behind him and gets away from the catcher Gangwish, obviously.
This game, Jordan and Preston, in this series, it's quickly getting away from the Evansville Otters.
This is one I think, I believe what they're going to call that, by the way, for the record. I think it's going to be a walk and a wild pitch, I believe. But yeah, you are absolutely right because it just seems like this series is snowballing, and I think the Otters, if they are not able to build a comeback and win this game, which right now obviously doesn't look great, they're down 4-0 in the 4th.
With an inability to score since they got to Marion.
Correct. I don't think there will be a road trip they will want to be done faster.
Luckily for them, it's about a minute or an hour and a half.
Just a minute. It's a minute. They can teleport.
Well, compared to coming back from Lake Erie, it's a minute.
Well, we did the map. It's 78 miles from Boston.
Yeah,
Field.
not a couple hours, as Zane first initially said.
I mean, it's an hour and a half.
I think hour and 45 is what my map said, but yeah. We have a pitching change. Ryan O'Reilly's night is over. It's now runners on the corners, 2 outs, and we have a new reliever coming in for the Evansville Otters. We'll tell you all about him when we come back after the break. Otters trailing at 4-0 in the bottom half of the 4th inning, still 2 away as the Miners are still at bat here on the Otters Digital Network and the Otters YouTube channel. Back at Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois, Jordan Fisher alongside me, Zane Clodfelter and Preston Leidenbach, as we have a pitching change on the mound here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's a 4-0 game. Ryan O'Reilly's night is over, and that brings up new righty Jacob Bowles. And Zane, you have some information about him.
Yeah, the Mount Washington, Kentucky native played collegiately at our alma mater, the University of Southern Indiana. Well, Big Red and Eyes. Preston went to UE.
I was on the east side.
But with USI, had a great record, 12-8, an ERA under 5. And then this year has an ERA so far of 6.30, 10 innings pitched. And he'll be the long man for Evansville here as we move forward.
Making his 7th appearance on the mound this season for the Evansville Otters. He's got a 1-1 count here to Ian Walters, the third base for the Miners. He got ahead with an 0-1 pitch, and the 0-1 missed to make it 1-1. Runners on the corners and still 2 away as the 1-1 misses. It's 2-1. We saw Jared Mang lead this inning off with a solo home run to left on the first pitch of the inning. Erickson then singled where he was thrown out at third base after another base hit for, it was Yeltsin Gudina, or excuse me, Brian Fuentes base hit, I believe, as this grounder to the second baseman, Gary Mattis, puts this inning to a close. The Miners score 3 in the inning, and they have a 4-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th. Zane, it's been great. I hope. I'll see you later. You might be, but Zane Clodfelter's going to cut out of here. We'll go ahead and take a break. Otters show at 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and the Otters YouTube channel.
Every 6 minutes, a utility line is damaged due to reckless digging. So Indiana relies on these 811 superheroes. Derek the Builder.
I dig for a living, but I always contact 811.
Mary the Gardener.
Before I plant a tree, I contact 811.
And Mike the Contractor.
I contact 811 before I do my work.
Prevent damage or injury. Call 811 anytime or go online 811now.com. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and this station.
Come be a part of a nationally recognized program in criminal justice. The Criminal Justice Program at Oakland City University provides students with in-depth knowledge in the fields of law enforcement, forensics, corrections, and juvenile justice. Learn through hands-on experiences and train in areas of investigative forensics, criminology, and police administration. A career-focused major is in your reach and all in a Christian university setting that feels like home. Oakland City University.
We head to the top of the 5th. It'll be Miles Gordon leading things off for the Evansville Otters as they now trail at 4-0 here on the Otters Digital Network. Jordan Fisher, Preston Leidenbach here working remotely in Evansville, Indiana, as the Otters are on the road in Marion, Illinois. A very rough bottom half of the 4th inning. It chased Ryan O'Reilly out of this ball game as the first pitch to Miles Gordon misses. It's ball 1. O'Reilly went 3 2/3. Gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those being earned. Had 4 walks to just 2 strikeouts. So not the best of nights for the Otters rookie right-hander. But the Otters will try to mount some sort of comeback as they are still looking for their first run scored since Sunday night, excuse me. We are up to 23 innings without a run for the Evansville Otters. 1-1 swung on and flown out to center field. Mang moves to his right, and it's actually going to be caught by the left fielder as the cameraman was deked out by Mang for out number 1.
And what's, I guess, more fascinating for me about the scoreless streak is the fact that the last couple of nights, the hits have been hard to come by. Last night only 2 hits, but yet they had the walks.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when you have those, especially that many free passes, especially as many as J.R. Davis had, usually that turns into something positive. Here tonight, first few innings, getting the leadoff guy on, but yet nothing to show for it. Once again, it's just...
So 3 of the first 5 innings, the Otters have got their leadoff man on tonight, and still 0 runs, to your point.
Just usually more often than not, when the leadoff guy gets on, especially with a free pass, just the way, the course of baseball, normally it comes around to score.
1-0 is popped up out of play behind home plate. It'll be an even 1-1 on Gangwish. But to your point, and again, it kind of sticks out from what Tuesday and Wednesday were kind of like too. The Otters could get some runners finally in scoring position, but they couldn't get them in. They could get them over, but they couldn't get them in.
I mean, really, I credit Tuesday and last night more to the pitching battle.
Right.
Especially Tuesday with Scott and Cunningham.
Yeah, that was
even last night,
yeah.
Was not that bad, but a few more, like I said, the walks came into play last night.
1-1 to Gangwish inside, ball 2.
But both teams had a sizable number of runners left on base, so both pitching staffs were pitching well.
I think the total Jevin said at the end of the game was 8 runners left on base for Evansville last night. 2-1 fouled off. It's now 2-2. So far tonight, the Otters have left on base 4 runners. They had the bases loaded in the first inning, looking like they were going to threaten and score, and a very unfortunate double play where literally a bad bounce was bad for the Otters but perfect for the Miners. 2-2. This one hits Gangwish's knee, and he will take first base.
That time he gets granted the base on the hit by pitch, because if you notice, he stands right on the plate. I mean, literally his back foot is on the white line.
I think he went to the Anthony Rizzo School of batting stances. So that turns it back over to the top of the order. Andy DeJesus will come up to bat with 1 out and a runner at first base.
Or for reference that I know Jevin will be aware of, the Troy Bilesmith School of getting hit by the pitch.
I'm going to go ahead and take a guess. That's a UE baseball player.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a free agent. You might see him in the Frontier League here soon. Who knows?
So DeJesus batting from the left side as he's facing the right-hander Westcott. That pitch up and in, but it's a called strike as DeJesus thought it was a little further inside. 0-1. DeJesus tonight, 1 for 2. Singled in the first inning to get things started for the Evansville Otters. He was stranded at third base with that bases loaded double play situation. He also flew out to center field in his second bat back in the third inning. 0-1, a big looping curveball, called strike. It's now 0-2. I said it a little bit in the last inning. Evansville's probably just ready to get out of Marion, get back home.
Yeah, I mean,
start up a homestand.
If I'm a player right now on the Otters, obviously you're still trying to battle within the game to at least salvage 1 out of the series, but nonetheless, kind of thankful it's not a long road trip of 6 games or even what they have left at the end of the schedule where it's 10 games in 11 days.
At least this isn't a trip to Lake Erie.
At least you're hoping by that point they haven't figured it out and this doesn't snowball down the road on the schedule.
Right. Otters came into tonight 4-6 in their last 10. And a bit of a skid here in the latter part of the season as the 1-2 misses high. It's 2-2. Of course, there's still plenty of time to turn it around. And last we checked, Sussex County was leading Florence by, I think it was 4 runs. Yes, right now it is 10-6 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So Sussex County is leading that ball game. So if Florence once again loses, the Otters really aren't losing any ground on Florence, but Southern Illinois is creeping up there in the standings.
Sussex County, the other minors team in the Frontier League.
I think if Southern Illinois can pull off this sweep, which right now they look like they're on their way to doing that unless the Otters bats come to life for the first time in this series. You couldn't have planned a better Tuesday through Thursday series for them, coupled with Florence potentially getting swept over at Sussex County, and DeJesus swings through the 2-2. That'll be the second out of the inning, and that brings up Elijah McNamee. But, of course, there's still a lot of time to play. I mean, there's still 4 more full innings to play. Otters will get 4 more chances to bat if they don't score in this inning.
Yeah, just trying to figure out Westcott, who has been a well-ventured, experienced pitcher in the Frontier League previously before his career with the minors. So he has seen the Evansville Otters, maybe not necessarily individually as much, but he knows how the staff, in terms of Andy McCauley, Max Peterson, Bobby Siegel, Boost Day, kind of the system they try to implement with their players and with their club.
First pitch to McNamee's a called strike. He is 0 for 1 tonight. Flew out to right field in his last at-bat in the third to end that inning. Also drew a walk in the first inning where he was stranded at second base. And we've seen Andy mix up the lineup a little bit over these last couple days as the 0-1 is swung on and missed. It's now 0-2. And I really think that's just a point where he knows that their offense needs a jolt. And he's trying to find any sort of combination to do that. Just try to get himself out of this funk, try to get the team out of the funk. And baseball's a cruel game. It can just be that way sometimes.
They got to try to find the right combination at the top to get on base in front of the meat of the order, and then wouldn't be too bad to have a good 6, 7, 8 spot as well to drive in the meat of the order when they get on base.
0-2 is thrown past McNamee as he swings through the fastball up in the zone. And that puts an end to the top half of the 5th inning. We're halfway home from Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. The Miners lead at 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
We love our kids and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield offers health insurance for children up to age 18 at low or no cost. From doctor visits to dental care, Anthem is here to put resources at your fingertips and simple solutions within your reach. And that is something to smile about. Call 1-800-403-0864 to enroll today. To learn more, visit anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
Brocado, Mang, and Erickson due up for Southern Illinois as we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bowles is still out on the mound as he'll be beginning his first full inning of work. He came on to record the final out of the bottom half of the 4th inning, which was a not so great inning for the Evansville Otters. Allowed 3 runs to score, only 2 of those being earned to Ryan O'Reilly. And the first pitch of the bottom half of the 5th inning to Brocado is a called strike. 0-1. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Preston Leidenbach, as we are broadcasting remotely from Evansville, Indiana. And we can go ahead and take a look at some of these scores from around the Frontier League after this next pitch. As Bowles winds and fires, it's 0-1, misses low and away. Now 1-1. Frontier League Live TV scoreboard update, as Zane Clodfelter would say. Florence still trailing Sussex County 10-6 in the top half of the 8th. New Jersey Jackals and Equipe Quebec, I think is how I pronounced it right. It's 5-5 in the top of the ninth there. Windy City on top of Gateway, 9-6 that ball game in the top of the sixth at GCS Ballpark. Lake Erie leading Washington 5-0 at Washington, that game in the bottom of the sixth. And then the New York Boulders are leading the Tri-City Valley Cats in the bottom half of the ninth. The Valley Cats are down to their last chance at the plate. And again, we had a final score earlier. Schaumburg defeated Joliet 5-0.
So line out to third base, right to Davis while you were going through the scores.
First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. I was so focused on trying to pronounce Equipe Quebec.
Equipe Quebec.
Yep. That I forgot to look back at the screen.
Which, credit to them, they had to wait till the end, I think it was the end of July, to have their first true home game.
Oh, really?
And their fans have been packing.
Oh, that's probably because of the
borders.
The travel. Yeah, the travel stuff.
They were primarily a road team early on in the season, but now they're playing at home, and credit to their fans.
Do you have any idea how that worked? Did they just stay at... Did they just keep traveling and staying at different hotels, or did they ever have... Okay.
Yep. So, like, for them to start the season against Gateway and then against Evansville back in late May, and required as much assistance as they could from those host teams.
Right.
Obviously, they still make a presentable product back for their home fans, so whether it be game photos that they can use on their social media.
Well, you look at how the highest levels of professional sports dealt with it. The Toronto Raptors, I believe, didn't play in there. I think they played down in, was it Tampa?
I believe it was Tampa.
And
Blue Jays were down in...
The Toronto Blue Jays played down in Florida as well.
And Dunedin, which is a little bit up the coast from Tampa.
1-2 swung on and missed. A strikeout for Bowles, his first of the night. Second out of the inning, and that retires Jared Mang, who is now 1 for 3 with a home run and 2 strikeouts, and that brings up Cody Erickson.
Which I guess it was last year when the Blue Jays played in Buffalo.
Yes.
I'll take Dunedin, Florida over that.
Yeah, no, I would too.
Even if it is in the middle of summer, I'm still taking the Florida.
Right. Absolutely, without a doubt. But I know the Blue Jays, they moved back into the Rogers Center. I believe it's still called the Rogers Center, right? I don't remember what their stadium is called. First pitch swinging, line drive into right field for a base hit for Cody Erickson. He's aboard for the second time tonight, his second base hit of the evening. He's singled back in the fourth, just last inning, and was thrown out at third base by McNamee. But I know that they filled up their ballpark for their home opener, the true home opener, and that crowd was absolutely electric. I believe Vlad Jr. hit a home run that game, too.
It's
fan favorite.
Normally pretty loud fan base up there in Toronto anyway.
I just always think of the Jose Bautista home run
flip
against the Rangers. I think that was 2015. First pitch to the next batter, Arturo Nieto, is grounded to Gary Mattis, and a quick inning of work for Jacob Bowles, and that brings us to the top half of the sixth inning as the Otters put up a 0 on the scoreboard for the Southern Illinois Miners. It'll be Davis, Crane, Phillips due up for Evansville when we come back here as the Otters trail at 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Fix up your home with Heritage. Our home improvement financing options can help you change your home now and pay for it over time. Upgrade your home. Make home repairs. Remodel a kitchen. Build a new deck. Add a new room. Remodel your bath. Update appliances. Whether it's a small weekend project or a large renovation, Heritage Federal Credit Union can help you finance your improvements today. Fix up your home with Heritage.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers. for befores and happily ever afters.
We move to the top of the 6th inning. Davis, Crane, Phillips due up for the Evansville Otters as they trail it 4-0 at Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. Davis tonight 2 for 2 with 2 singles. He drew 4 walks last night in the ball game. Did not record an official at bat, and he'll try to get on base to hopefully get something started for the Otters. As the first pitch is a breaking ball outside, ball 1. I hate to keep bringing up the scoreless inning streak, but I mean, until they score a run, it kind of is what it is. As the 1-0 misses outside, it's now 2-0. So they entered at 19 innings. We are through 5 innings. Quick math says 24 innings scoreless for the Evansville Otters, as the 2-0 is fouled off out of play. It's now 2-1. Westcott getting into a pretty good rhythm on the mound after that first inning where he dealt with some trouble. Only faced 3 batters in each the second and third inning, as the 2-1 misses outside. It's now 3-1. He did face 5 batters in the fourth, but ended up stranding a pair of runners on base for Evansville, and then he only faced 4 batters in the top half of the 5th inning, recording the last 2 outs via swinging strikeout. 3-1 is hit out into right field for J.R. Davis. He's now 3 for 3 with 3 singles. You think he likes doing the same thing over and over again every night? 4 walks last night, 3 base hits to right field tonight.
He's a baseball player. They're very routine oriented.
Well, we'll see if Riley Crane can break out of the routine he's been in lately. He's been slumping a little bit here recently for Evansville. He's 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a flyout. Although the flyout, he hit the ball pretty hard. It was just right at the right fielder. But he has a chance to maybe put a jolt into this Otters lineup and get some momentum going. First pitch, a called strike on the breaking ball, 0-1.
Curveball's been pretty good all night from Westcott. You're kind of hoping eventually he'll lose the grip on it and he'll hang it up there.
Yeah. That's been a story for all 3 starters this series for Southern Illinois. 0-1. Crane gets a piece of it and fouls it off. It's 0-2. Cunningham had an absolutely amazing curveball on Tuesday night. Kynes even had a pretty good breaking ball last night as well. It wasn't as good as Cunningham's, but it was effective in times when he needed it. Got a couple strikeouts with it. And we've seen Westcott here start with breaking balls more often than not, it felt like. Get that get me over curveball, get a first strike, and then set up the fastball for the second pitch. He's done a good job of keeping everybody off balance. We keep having time here as Westcott steps off. I don't know if there's something that ended up on the field in the outfield or what, but the home plate umpire, David Bailey, stepped out from behind home plate to wait for whatever was cleared off the field. And now it looks like we're ready to go as Westcott's back on the rubber, peering in for his side. It's an 0-2 count to Riley Crane. Runner at first base is Jared Davis with nobody out in the top of the 6th. The 0-2 misses outside. It's now 1-2. Davis not a ton of speed at first base over there. Certainly don't expect him to try to steal, as the 1-2 is fouled off. A little dribbler to the right side. Stays at 1-2. And I would think here in a 4-0 game, you're not trying to run into outs by any means. No matter how much they want to break this scoreless streak and finally put a run on the board, you also can't become too out of control with it and force the issue too much.
The big picture is winning the game. With that, you have to have runners on base and, as you said, not run into outs, make mistakes on the base paths.
A ball and 2 strikes, the delivery. This one low and inside as it's gloved by Nieto and really prevents a wild pitch. It's now 2-2.
I know you mentioned Nieto defensively with his arm earlier. Also in terms of protecting the ball from getting away, and really that's why he's on this roster, is for his defense and ability to handle the pitching staff. As if you look at the stats offensively for the 2 catchers for the Miners, and especially with Nieto, it doesn't really stand out by a pretty significant margin, to say the least. A lot of guys wouldn't still be on their clubs, their teams, with that kind of average, but because he's so good defensively, he's brings so much value to the Miners team because of what he can do.
In baseball, that catcher position is so important more often than not for the defense specifically. Of course, you can get a catcher that can hit. That's an amazing bonus. But really, they can control the pitching staff and control the running game. They're really doing their job that they're asked to do as a catcher. It's a 2-2 count against Crane. He's fouled off a couple pitches to extend this at-bat. If Crane were to reach, that would bring up Dakota Phillips potentially with 2 on and nobody out. Either way, Phillips is in the on-deck circle, and he will get a chance to hit in this inning. 2-2 to Crane. Ground ball to the right side, right at the second baseman. Now over to the shortstop, back to first, 4-6-3. Double play as the quick turn from Flete to Gudinho to Erickson. And that's a buzzkill.
Major buzzkill.
Again, baseball's such a cruel game. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. You finally get a little bit of positive momentum and feel like you can't get out of your own way. So that brings up Dakota Phillips. He got into a double play earlier. We've talked about that enough so far tonight. Also struck out swinging in his second at bat, so he is 0 for 2.
At this point of the year, you don't really go in with in terms of strategy and the system of reinventing the wheel. You still just kind of stick to what's worked for you throughout the season to get you, the record that the Otters have, first place in the West Division, first place overall record-wise for a good chunk of this last month in the Frontier League. It's just mixing up the order to just do something to try to just see if guys just mentally feel more comfortable in a different spot.
Absolutely. I mean, right now they still sit 15 games over 500. Assuming they do lose this game, if they can't get the bats going again, there's still plenty of time, but it's looking bleak. As the 1-1 misses, it's 2-1. If they were to lose this game, they're still going to be at 44-30. They'll still have first place in the West Division. They'll still have the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Miners for the moment. And they still own the tiebreaker against Florence, as the 2-1 is swung on and missed. So there's still lots of positives for the remainder of the season, and this would be one of those series that you just try to completely erase from your memory, and you try to restart back at Bosse Field tomorrow night, in what should be a very good night at the ballpark with a very good and energetic crowd. 2-2 called third strike for Dakota Phillips as the Otters go quietly in the top half of the 6th. 3 up, 3 down. They did get 1 base hit, a double play, and then a strikeout looking ends the inning. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Miners leading at 4-0 here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Cheer up, Evans. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
Top of the order to you as we head to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Flete, Gudino, and Early due up for Southern Illinois as Jacob Bowles is back out there for his second complete inning of work, potentially. He got the final out of the fourth, pitched the entire fifth, and he will now be on the mound for the sixth, as well as the first pitch to Bryant Flete is hit out into center field. Miles Gordon moving to his right as he puts it away for the first out of the inning. One pitch, one out for Jacob Bowles.
Good appearance so far out of the pen for Bowles, who, as you mentioned, had an ERA above 6 going into the game, but really small sample size, really. He hasn't seen too many appearances since signing with the Otters.
Yeah, just his 7th appearance of the season.
I know Coach Max Peterson has really been working with him to kind of hone in on his pitching ability to really take it to the next level, to a professional level.
Came in with an ERA at 6.30. He certainly pitched well so far through an inning and 2/3. As Gudino hits the ball hard, but right at DeJesus, shortstop to shortstop for the ground out. 6-3, and there's 2 away in the inning.
And one thing that I'll bring up, because last weekend, especially when the team wasn't doing batting practice, because usually by this time of the year it starts becoming more just optional cage work, just because you don't want to wear the guys down at this point in the season. And also because, especially last week at Boston Field in Evansville, it was really hot.
Yes.
You don't want those guys going out there and wearing down in the afternoon, just baking in the heat as Early steps up. But out in the bullpen, which the pitching staff does every day, just get their warm-ups and tosses in with the strike there to Early. Jacob Bowles, he started toward the first base side of the rubber as a right-handed pitcher, and Max Peterson, another strike as he's up 0-2. Notice that he's kind of missing toward that first base side of home plate. So he said, hey, why don't you move more toward the middle of the rubber?
Yeah.
He's pitching from the middle of the rubber here tonight.
Looks like he's standing out in the middle or just barely shaded to the third base side of the rubber. But, yeah, he looks pretty squared up, and he's looked good so far tonight out of the bullpen. And, again, I was trying to get in a little bit of an optimistic viewpoint there before the ending of the top half of the sixth, but you still have to look at the bigger picture going forward as Early grounds into the right side and it's fielded by Mattis. Basically, you have to look forward to the rest of the season, even no matter how the series has gone to this point. So we're into the top half of the 7th inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Miners in that half. Mattis, Schultz, Gordon due up for Evansville. When we come back, the Otters still trailing at 40-0 from Rent One Park here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Welcome to a place that feels like home. A place that cares about all of you. Built to help you grow in more ways than you could possibly imagine. To make new friends, travel new paths, soar to new heights, and deepen your spiritual experience. Welcome to Oakland City University.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
We head to the top half of the 7th inning as the Otters are coming back up to bat. It'll be Mattis, Schultz, and Gordon due up, and they will be facing a new pitcher on the mound, as it is Blake Stelzer in to pitch for Southern Illinois, and he comes on in relief of Zach Westcott. Westcott ends his night after 6 innings pitched. He gave up 5 hits, no runs, struck out 9, walked just 2. As Stelzer will work from the windup again, facing Gary Mattis. A very long windup there. Okay, now the first pitch comes home finally. 0-1. Stelzer on the year, 4-1 for the Southern Illinois Miners. A 2.43 ERA, making appearance number 26 out of the bullpen. 33 1/3 innings, giving up 16 hits, 32 strikeouts to just 5 walks. As the 0-1 is fouled off, and it's 0-2. Was curious to see if they would let Westcott kind of carry this game further into the game, deeper into the game. With the 4-run deficit, you have a little bit of a cushion. I didn't feel like his pitch count was incredibly high, but I also didn't see the total at which he was at. 0-2 bounced away. It's now 1-2.
Yeah, he normally doesn't go overly deep into games. Usually around, the 6th inning mark for him.
Do have a score update here that is certainly imperative to both these teams. Florence does get swept. They fall to Sussex County by a score of 10-7. So Florence getting swept on the road as this one's hit well out into center field, but Mang moving to his left as he catches it in the right center field gap. And Gary Mattis is the first batter retired to begin the top half of the 7th inning. Now, we'll go ahead and say this, because Zane is not here, I am not singing the 7th
I was thinking
stretch.
The same thing. I was about to say, I'm not singing. So, Zane, if you're listening, you better hurry on back.
Yeah, our listeners are going to be real disappointed when they don't get to hear Zane sing.
He had to head out for another media appearance, so depending on how this game goes, he may reappear by the end of the night, but
we'll see. Top of the 7th inning, 1 out. John Schultz steps up to bat after Mattis flies out, and it's 1-0 for Schultz. He is 0 for 2 tonight. 2 backwards Ks, 2 pitches in the exact same spot on that fastball running in. Kind of 2-seam action in both those strikeouts. The 1-0 fouled back as it's 1-1. It's tough to try to come up with a positive outlook for how this game has gone, because it feels like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for the Otters.
And literally in tonight's case, everything, because O'Reilly getting taken out of the game in the 4th inning.
I just think back to that first inning too, where
we all know that he's really good.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. A sub-3 ERA, 4-2 record. He's been great since he signed with Evansville.
One of those nights, and that's the thing. The positive for Evansville looking forward as they try to just reignite the offense is their rotation. I mean, we saw Scott, Portela, O'Reilly. Then going into the weekend, we're assuming somewhere along the lines of Gossman and Holgraver, because they did not start in this series, of course. Right. And Gossman has kind of just been taking some hard luck losses lately. He's now, I think, 2-5, but really hard luck losses.
Well, and again, going back home is going to be a big thing too with that.
So, I mean, it's a pretty tough rotation for any team to go up against, 1 through 5, when you're facing the Evansville Otters pitching staff.
2-1 is popped up and caught by the catcher Nieto in foul territory, so 2-away. But, yeah, to your point, the pitching, and we saw it especially last night and Tuesday night. Of course, O'Reilly had a rough night tonight, a lot of tough luck. But between Portela and why am I blanking right now? Who pitched Tuesday night?
Scott.
It was Scott. Thank you. I was like thinking lefty. That's all I could think of. Between both of them, I thought they pitched pretty well, and it just didn't work out. So the pitching's going to keep them in the games for the most part. You just got to get the bats to come back to life as the first pitch to Miles Gordon, low and inside for ball 1.
To me, the measuring stick of a good pitching staff, and that might be understating it a little bit, is when you have all 5 guys with a sub-4 ERA.
Oh yeah.
Usually run across teams. They might have 1 or 2 guys who are on the back end of the rotation that maybe are 4.25 or 4.5.
Yeah.
Not the case for the Evansville Otters.
Right. They have 5 very strong starting pitchers, and that includes losing one in Dalton Stanball to begin the year. It's now a 1-1 count to Gordon as he swung and fouled off the 1-0 pitch. But I keep coming back to this too. Getting ready to have a 6-game homestand. You're going to have a day off in the middle of that homestand, which is something certainly not to just completely overlook, as Gordon bounces one through the right side for a base hit. It's a 2-out single for Miles Gordon. See if that can start a 2-out rally. But you think about going home for 3-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have the off day Monday. Then you're on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, again as a home series. There's a chance for Evansville to get the bats going back again when they're at Bosse Field for a full week.
And usually on the Monday off days, a lot of the guys stay away. There's still a few who may come in, just do some light throwing, or at least get some jogging in, just to kind of stay on top of their physique and their physical level. Even the coaches might pop in to get some work done, but I have a feeling of course, depending on how this weekend goes against Gateway, Monday might be the day where nobody is there, and there's just a chain lock on the clubhouse door, just to force guys to just be away from the ballpark and not even take a foot onto the field.
Right.
And, just clear the minds completely for at least a day, and then come back Tuesday. And
so the Otters do have, as you mentioned, the series coming up against Gateway. They'll play 3 against Gateway, then they'll play 3 against Windy City.
And then it's on the road at Gateway next weekend, correct?
Yep, and then at Southern Illinois the next 3 after that, as it's now a 1-1 count for Gangwish. Yeah, they got a long road trip there in the middle of that. At Gateway for 3, at Southern for 3, at Schaumburg for 4, which should be a 3-day series. I don't have the calendar. I'm just looking at the remaining games.
Yes, it'll be 4 because originally it was only 2 games to start the season back in May. Ended up only being 1 because the second game on that Friday on opening week was rained out, which they made up on the returning road trip like a week later on that Sunday for a 4-game set.
So is that going to be 4 games in 3 days, or is it 4 games in 4 days? Do you know? I can pull up the schedule.
They will play on Labor Day on that Monday.
Okay, so they are. So it is 4 games in 4 days.
That'll be a day game, for the holiday. So that way, it's a day game. Should be able to get back at Monday night decent time before that homestand starts on Tuesday to finish out the regular season.
Where they finish with a 6-game homestand, correct?
Yes, Joliet and Lake Erie will be the 2 opponents on that last homestand, September 7th through the 12th. And with that long road trip, I guess it will be helpful the fact that they go to Gateway, they'll come back home. That way the guys can sleep in their own beds for a couple of nights.
Right.
Through the Monday off day. Then they'll go to Southern, and then from Southern they'll go to the Schaumburg.
2-2 ground to the right side by Gangwish. It's fielded by Flete on one knee. He throws to first base, and the Otters once again go quietly as they get a runner on with 2 outs, but cannot get him into scoring position or get him across for a run. So we head to the 7th inning stretch. It's stretch time, but Zane Clodfelter's not here, and I'm not singing, so we're going to step away for a timeout. The Miners leading it 4-0 in Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois, right here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Every 6 minutes, a utility line is damaged due to reckless digging. So Indiana relies on these 811 superheroes. Derek the Builder.
I dig for a living, but I always contact 811.
Mary the Gardener.
Before I plant a tree, I contact 811.
And Mike the Contractor.
I contact 811 before I do my work.
Prevent damage or injury. Call 811 anytime or go online 811now.com. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and this station.
Come be a part of a nationally recognized program in criminal justice. The Criminal Justice Program at Oakland City University provides students with in-depth knowledge in the fields of law enforcement, forensics, corrections, and juvenile justice. Learn through hands-on experiences and train in areas of investigative forensics, criminology, and police administration. A career-focused major is in your reach and all in a Christian university setting that feels like home. Oakland City University.
I hope that rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game that you had in your mind of Zane Clodfelter was great because we didn't play it here. Of course, we're missing Zane. He is on assignment elsewhere for the rest of this evening, doing a media appearance for the high school football season, which begins tomorrow night. Sandoval, Walters, Brocato, 4-5-6 due up for the Miners as Bowles is still out on the mound. First pitch, strike to Sandoval. It's 0-1. Sandoval tonight, 0 for 1. He has grounded out to the shortstop back in the third. Drew a pair of walks in the first and fourth innings where he was stranded on base both times. 0-1. Kneebuckler called strike. It's now 0-2.
And that last inning that Bowles was out there, I mentioned how Max Peterson had worked with him on moving his position on the rubber. And see now, it's especially with that slider missing far away where it's easy to take, it's a little bit closer. It makes the batters think about it a little bit if they want to chase or not.
0-2 is a high fastball. Good sliding play by Mattis at second base to get Sandoval for the out. 4-3 on the putout, and that's the first out of the inning.
Or that slider down away becomes a knee buckler, but then it also establishes the ability for him to go inside with the fastball and have confidence that he, to be able to spot it on the inside.
Well, on that situation specifically, to your point, he started off with 2 breaking pitches to get ahead, elevated the fastball, got him to chase, and still somehow bounced it over to the right side for an out. First pitch swinging is Walters as it swings through another breaking ball. It's 0-1. It's subtle changes like that can be all the difference. And that's one of those things that credit to Max Peterson and the coaching staff for noticing that. 0-1 misses outside. It's now 1-1.
And sometimes as a pitcher, you see them missing to a certain side, glove side, or to their fall-off side. You think, well, it has to be something with their arm, because obviously that's what they're doing. They're throwing the ball. But sometimes it might be the lower half with the legs and the plant foot, or where you're starting with the feet on the rubber.
1-1 is a called strike. It's 1-2. And again, to your point, pitching specifically is so mechanics-based, and it starts from the beginning of the windup or the stretch delivery. It's not just grabbing a baseball and throwing it to a glove. It's 2-2.
Especially when you're trying to throw downhill on a mound. It's not as easy as throwing on a flat ground.
Exactly. Credit to Jacob Bowles for the outing he's had so far. 2-2 gets Walters to pop up left side of the infield. Foul territory. We'll see if Davis has enough room. And he actually misread it. Did he still catch it? No, he did not. It'll be a foul ball as the at-bat will continue. Davis was over by the wall, out of play, and then quickly realized the ball was significantly further into foul territory.
Yeah, not sure based on what we are obviously viewing and watching.
Could have been a lights issue?
If he overran it and just kind of misread the direction, or if maybe the wind blew it back into play a little bit.
Yeah, we're not really sure what the wind is. They haven't shown flag out in the center field or anything like that to indicate the wind speed. As this one's popped up once again, this time into shallow left field, as it's actually DeJesus that makes the play. All for naught. And it's now 2 up, 2 down in the bottom half of the 7th. That brings up Anthony Brocato, who has been held hitless so far. 0 for 3, 2 flyouts to right field and a line out to the first baseman. So the righty's been going the opposite way so far today. And Brocato, his first pitch to him is bounced. It's 1-0. .9:35 in Evansville, as we are just about 2.5 hours into this ball game. Brocato hits this one well in the left field. It'll drop in front of John Schultz for a base hit. So Brocato is finally on the board. It's a pretty good hitter. Tough to keep him off the board over the entire night. And that'll bring up Jared Mang, who has already homered back in his second at-bat. I say the time because I wonder if Zane's on the air yet.
I got a few minutes yet. But I tell you, this head-to-head series matchup this year between the Miners and the Otters just feels different ever since, one, the 4-game home sweep for the Otters, but also ever since that home run derby that I think will go down in French League history where the Miners batted out of order in the home run derby.
How that happened, I still have no idea.
The tide's changed since that weekend.
And you would think it would change in a positive for the Otters, as this one's hit right at Madison. It's caught as it'll be out number 3. But real quickly, just to wrap up that thought, instead it's been the Miners that have reacted, and they have been the ones that have been on the upper hand. So we head to the top half of the 8th inning. Just a runner stranded there in the bottom half of the 7th. It'll be the top of the order for the Otters. DeJesus McNamee Davis due up. When we come back, the Otters need to get their life or need to get some life in their bats here as they trail at 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel. We're to the top of the 8th inning, top of the order due up for Evansville. DeJesus McNamee Davis, as they are trying to get something going and make a late rally. They'll have to face Augie Voigt, who they saw earlier this series. He replaces Blake Stelzer. Pitches just 1 inning, gives up 1 hit, no strikeouts, no walks, no earned, or no runs scored at all, I should say. Only faced 4 batters. First pitch for Voigt is a called strike. It's 0-1. Voigt on the season is making appearance number 3 for Southern Illinois as he fields this one and tosses it over to first base for the quick out. 1 away.
Hard hit, just able to react on the comebacker on the mound.
So he actually pitched yesterday, went 1 full inning, did walk 1 batter, didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run, didn't strike out a batter. But he got all 3 outs in that inning. And now he'll try to do the same thing here in the 8th as Elijah McNamee walks up to the batter's box. 0 for 2 tonight is McNamee. A fly out to right, strikeout swinging in the 5th. Did draw a walk in the 1st where he was stranded in scoring position. High leg kick from Voigt as McNamee gives this one a right out to left center field. That'll drop down in the gap, and McNamee will have extra bases as Sandoval just now fields the ball in left field and fires it into Flete, the cutoff man. A double for McNamee, as maybe that'll put a little bit of jolt into the Otters batting lineup.
I would take my guess, and I know you have it in front of you. First runner in scoring position since that bases loaded situation early in the game?
No, they did have a runner in scoring position in the 4th. Davis led off with a single, and then Mattis drew a walk to advance him to second base, but that happened with 2 outs, and Schultz went down looking to end that inning, but close. That is only the third time now that the Otters have had a runner in scoring position. So you're pretty close for not.
It felt like it's been a while.
Not keeping a book or anything over there. You were pretty close. That does bring up J.R. Davis. 3 for 3 tonight. 3 singles to right field. You think he can get a fourth one? First pitch called strike. 0-1. Last night he got 4 walks. Didn't record an official at bat. Tonight he has 3 base hits, all basically to the same spot in right field.
It's the 4 walks last night. Team high in a single game this season for the Otters. Previously it was 3 by McNamee.
Goldeneye. There's only one Goldeneye, and that's J.R. Davis.
Now, okay, I think I asked this last night, but isn't that one of the Bond
Yes,
titles?
it is one of the James Bond video games, yes. GoldenEye 007 was a video game I played a lot on the N64 as a child.
I couldn't remember if it was... It sounded familiar. I didn't remember if it was Goldeye or GoldenEye.
Yeah, it was GoldenEye. And they remastered it too, actually.
Yeah. Now, is that the one with Pierce Brosnan as James Bond?
I'm not that familiar with the James Bond series to be able to tell you that yes or no. I'm sure we could find out between innings.
I can just pull my phone up.
Or you could just Google it right now. Davis fights one off, and it's caught by Flete. Thought maybe that was going to drop down in center field, but 2 away now for the Evansville Otters. Runner in score position is McNamee, and that brings up Riley Crane.
Yes, with Pierce Brosnan. Came out in 1995, my birth year. So
I just remember as a kid being like 6 years old and trying to defeat the story mode on that game on N64. And all I remember about it is there was some part of the final bit of the story that I could not beat, where they were on like a train car and they were trying to hijack it or something. I don't remember what exactly it was. I just remember being incredibly difficult as a 6-year-old to play a video game like that, which was like 6 years old. I mean, you can only do so much. Got a mound visit here for Southern Illinois. Why, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they're just trying to make sure they want to be careful with Riley Crane. But so far, Augie Voigt has already recorded 2 outs in this 8th inning. There is a runner at second base, and that's Elijah McNamee. As Preston noted, this is the first time that they've had a runner in scoring position since the top half of the 4th inning, when Davis was at second base with 2 outs. He was unable to score. First inning, the Otters had bases loaded with 1 out, and it was a double play that ended it. First pitch to Crane, 0-1. And actually, I would like to point out that the Otters had bases loaded with nobody out in the first inning. It was a strikeout by Crane swinging, and then that double play by Phillips. The Otters have had the chances tonight. Not many, but they've had chances. And it's an 0-2 count to Crane after he fouls off the 0-1 breaking pitch.
yeah, the only team that I know in the country that have done less with the bases loaded are the St. Louis Cardinals. Speaking as a Cardinals fan this summer.
Oh,
Certainly
goodness.
feels that way.
I haven't. What's the score of that game? I haven't checked that in a minute. 8-4 Cardinals, says Jevin from the other room. Looks like it's bottom of the 7th, 2 outs.
Yeah, we'll share that MLB score, as the French League is an MLB partner league.
Yes, it's a new thing this year, right? First year being a partner league, officially.
Mm-hmm.
Got a text earlier from Corey Clayton. There's a lot of high school sports coverage and stuff of that nature in the Evansville area, as Crane chests the high fastball, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. But basically, he said that O'Neill and Newtbar went back-to-back, and that gave the Cardinals the lead. So that was a good text to get. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Otters still trailing at 4-0. They're running out of time at Rent One Park. The Miners have Erickson, Nieto, Flete due up when we come back here on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
We love our kids and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield offers health insurance for children up to age 18 at low or no cost. From doctor visits to dental care, Anthem is here to put resources at your fingertips and simple solutions within your reach. And that is something to smile about. Call 1-800-403-0864 to enroll today. To learn more, visit anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
Jacob Bowles back out there once again as he will be pitching the bottom half of the 8th inning. He came in and got the final out of the 4th, pitched the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings completely, so he's up to 3 1/3. We'll see if he can get to 4 1/3 and turn it back over to Evansville in the top half of the 9th, hopefully still at a 4-0 ball game. Cody Erickson digs in to lead things off as first pitch misses outside 1-0. Curious to see what kind of leash Bowles gets here, as he's been great out of the bullpen, but sometimes when you start getting those 4 innings of work, it's a little bit much for a reliever. This one's popped up to the second baseman Mattis as he puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, not too often you go through the lineup a couple times as a reliever.
Right.
Where, it's one thing when the lineup sees a starter for the second time or third time through, but for a reliever, be interested to watch. So far, it's played out pretty well.
I have him at, this is batter number 14 coming up now.
Now on point streak, that'd be 13 because it starts at 0.
Correct. That is correct. We know that all too well. First pitch to Nieto, ball 1. The first time he faced Bowles, it was a 4-3 ground out. Swinging on the first pitch was Nieto. That out ended the bottom half of the 5th inning at that point. 1-0, called strike, 1-1. Erickson, who just popped out to Mattis, he got a base hit in his first at-bat against Bowles. Mang has been 0 for 2. Brocato is 1 for 2. Walters is 0 for 2. As this one, I don't know where it's hit because it's stuck on home plate.
It was a ground ball, looked like toward the second base side.
I'm going to call it 4-3. They just showed Riley Crane with the baseball at first base. That's good enough for me. 2 away. But as I was about to wrap this up, Walters is also 0 for 2. He was the very first batter that Bowles has faced. So now we get back into some more batters that get their second chance at him. Flete 0 for 1 against Bowles tonight. He flew out to center field in the 6th inning. Overall tonight, he is 2 for 4. First pitch called strike, 0-1. Got a pair of singles. Ended up scoring 1 run on that, I don't want to call an errant throw by Gangwish, but it had to go to the catcher because it was a stolen base attempt that nobody covered, and he still threw it.
Look at that Bowles stat line that stands out. Only 1 strikeout.
Yeah, he really
As he's going for potentially 4 1/3.
And he struck out Jared Mang.
Only 2 hits.
It was the 3rd batter that he had faced tonight.
So that's pitching to contact
the
right way.
Right, and he is trusting his defense to get the job done. He hasn't had a whole lot of swing and miss stuff, but he's been good. And there's nothing wrong with that. You think about how many pitchers make a living off pitching to contact and how valuable those guys can be, especially when you're getting a lot of groundouts like Bowles is. Also notice it's a lot of groundouts to the right side. 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. Pop up to 4, line out to 4. Line out to 3. done a good job of keeping the ball in the infield. One and two pitch fouled off.
As we mentioned earlier, a product of USI and Tracy Archuleta's program, along with the starter in the rotation, Austin Gossman, as well. A couple years ago, we had Matt Chavarria on the club.
Chavarria was also a shortstop at USI when I was there. 1 and 2. Now 2 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away in the bottom half of the 8th inning. If Flete reaches base, it'll be Gudinho that comes up to bat. Has the 2-2, it hits him. Fastball came up and in, so the inning will continue.
Yeah, I think he rushed that one a little bit.
He was ready to get out of the inning. That's what it looked like to me too.
Ready to kind of fire it in there, and I don't think he quite ever found the grip on the baseball. Because it looked like his overall motion just kind of changed compared to his previous pitches.
Well, if you're an Otters fan, you're hoping he still gets out of this inning without allowing a run, and you keep it at 4 runs, because in theory, you could load the bases and one swing of the bat could tie the game. But in the top half of the 9th, it'll be Phillips, Madison, Schultz due up. If any of those reach Miles Gordon, we'll get an opportunity. And it would be the last-ditch effort for the Evansville Otters, which at this current moment, their scoreless inning streak sits at 27 innings. I don't recall, now granted I haven't been in baseball that long, but I don't recall ever broadcasting games for a team that had that long of a stretch. So it's just, baseball's a tough game. They've had some opportunities and it just hasn't gone their way.
It's either one way or another. You get the offense going, you score a run, or maybe just one solo shot at least.
Yeah.
Or even
just something to break that seal.
Getting a run off of defensive miscues.
Yeah. Just something to get
Nothing has gone Evansville's way offensively.
Right. They just need something to get that breakthrough. And it could lead to a waterfall-esque run barrage. It's 1-1 to Gudinho. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Also reached on a walk. Ended up scoring. Stole a base on that aforementioned error as Mattis tries to apply the tag but drops the ball. Just trying to sweep back and ball just kind of slid out of his glove. So stolen base for Flete. But yeah, at this point, I think Evansville would be happy if someone walked 4 straight batters and just walked in a run. Like, just get something. There's a runner in scoring position now. The Miners have a chance to add on a potentially very important insurance run, as that insurance run would make it 5 if they can score it. 2-1, swung on a miss by Gudinho. It's 2-2.
That one was a ball out of the hand on that downward plane, but Gudinho, 2-1 count, was waiting for
dove down. Yeah. He was ready. He had the go pitch in mind. 2-2 count, 2 out runner at second base is Flete. The delivery low and away. It's now ball 3. Nolan Early standing on deck as the Miners right fielder. 2 for 4 tonight. Double and a single. Also had a strikeout, looking at a ground out.
See if he goes back to the slider. It's what that last pitch was that missed to make it full.
I would
just missed off the corner.
I would go for that. 3-2. Grounded left side to Jesus, fields it in the hole. Quick throw over to first. It's bounced. And throw is in time as it gets to Gudinho out at first base. So the runner in scoring position stays there as they strand the runner at second base, and we head to the top half of the 9th. Last chance for the Otters. Phillips, Mattis, Schultz due up. They're down 4-0 on the road at Rent One Park, trying to avoid the sweep at the hand of the Southern Illinois Miners. We'll come back with the 9th inning right after this on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.
Fix up your home with Heritage. Our home improvement financing options can help you change your home now and pay for it over time. Upgrade your home. Make home repairs. Remodel a kitchen. Build a new deck. Add a new room. Remodel your bath. Update appliances. Whether it's a small weekend project or a large renovation, Heritage Federal Credit Union can help you finance your improvements today. Fix up your home with Heritage.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
Top of the ninth inning. Do or die time for the Evansville Otters. They trail it 4-0 on the road at Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Preston Linenbach, as we are broadcasting from Jevin Redmond's apartment in Evansville, Indiana. Jevin is currently in another bedroom working on some more work that he hasn't. I know he stays plenty busy.
Gracious host, though.
He is
Not
a
even
fantastic host.
on the air with us, but allowing us to come to his place to.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd be like, "Can you guys go home and go to bed? It's 10 o'clock."
Or go broadcast somewhere else.
So Phillips, Mattis, Schultz due up, and they will get to face. I say get to the right-hander Joey Polito. Polito relieving Augie Voigt as he went 1 inning, 1 hit, had 1 strikeout, no walks, no runs. No real trouble at all from Voigt. And Polito, the first pitch to Phillips is a swinging strike, and it's 0-1. Phillips tonight 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, and grounded into a double play. Polito on the season, 2-2 record at 1.75 ERA, making appearance number 31. This is not a save opportunity, but he does have 5 saves on the year, 36 innings pitched, 29 hits allowed, 43 strikeouts to 10 walks. 1 fouled off, it's now 0-2. So, barring the Otters' bats finally coming to life, the Otters are going to drop their 3rd straight to the minors and fall victim to them as a sweep as the 0-2 swung on and missed the slider low in the zone. 1 away. But again, the important thing here to keep in mind is Evansville would still hold the head-to-head tiebreaker at the moment at 8-7. And they would still have a 3.5 game lead over the Miners, who are sitting in 3rd place, because Florence also got swept this weekday series. First pitch to Mattis, up and in, 1-0. So at the end of the day, Evansville will still have a 1-game lead over Florence, really 2 games with the tie break, and then a 3.5 game lead over Southern Illinois, and still have the edge in the tie break. As the 1-0 is a called strike, it's 1-1. And again, we talked about how they get to go home for a 6-game homestand, have a day off in the middle of that, potentially a chance to refocus and regroup as a team and try to build some momentum for a late season playoff push. Because again, with the current format this year, the 4 division winners will be the 4 teams getting into the playoffs. So 2 of Florence, Evansville, and Southern Illinois will miss the playoffs. It's a 2-2 count now to Mattis as he fouled one off to the right side. 1 away in the top half of the ninth. I'm getting a report that Zane was on the air 10 minutes ago. for his other duty tonight. 2-2, a dribbler up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Gudinho, who charges in and makes the throw quickly to first base in time. It's 6-3 on the putout, 2 away. Otters down to their last out. It'll be John Schultz coming to the plate.
Even a ball hit back up the middle can't find green grass. It's just...
It's been rough. It's been a rough series, but it's going to be one of those where everyone's going to shower quickly, they're going to load the bus quickly, they're going to get home quickly, and they're going to try to put this one in the rearview mirror. Try to completely erase it from your memory and get ready to go for the series that begins tomorrow night. Again, the Gateway Grizzlies will be coming to town for a 3-game set this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First pitch to Schultz, called strike. Tomorrow night is 90s night with the Arc of Evansville. Also have characters from the Bob and Tom show there.
That's right. You want to get there early. They'll miss the pregame. With 90s night, there'll be, of course, 90s music. There'll be a t-shirt giveaway with the famed 90s looking splat on it.
Thank you for calling it a splat.
There will be a sliming, I believe, before the game.
Ooh.
I'm not sure who actually will be getting slimed.
I think you should slime Zane.
Yeah, mess up his hair.
Yes, exactly. Make him do
he had it
PA
perfect tonight,
slime.
let me tell you.
He did.
Yeah, I don't know who our famous Evansville celebrity will be to get slimed this year. And then with Bob and Tom, Chick McGee, Josh Arnold will be there, part of the festivities at the ballpark. So
definitely come
fun
out
way to kick off the weekend.
And they get free tickets like all over town tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Otters players will be giving out tickets. I saw somewhere. Was it the library?
Some of the libraries, yes. The full list is online, not at thearcofevansville.org.
2-2, ground ball bobbled by Gudinho at shortstop, but he's still able to get Schultz over at first base, and this game is over. So the Otters drop to 44-30 as they get swept by the Southern Illinois Miners tonight, and the Miners improve to 41-34. They move to 3.5 games back of the first place Otters. Again, all things considered, yes, this series was not fun for Evansville. No, they did not score a run. That obviously is not fun either. At the end of the day, they're still in first place. They still have control of their destiny because they have the tiebreaker over Florence. They have the tiebreaker edge over Southern Illinois, and they will get one more series against Southern Illinois in a couple weeks. You have any final thoughts?
Just a tough one to swallow. Unfortunately, might be needing to get a new supply of lumber or something. Just something to get the offense going. It's kind of insane. But that's baseball. Ups and downs. You'll have your highs. You'll have your lows. Right now, the Otters are just in a little bit of a funk, and a slump at the plate. But as long as the pitching staff keeps doing what they're doing, giving the team at least a chance, the offense will come around. I mean, we've seen it time and again where this offense is good enough, and this team will continue to battle and fight late in games. We saw the big comeback a couple weeks ago. We've seen multiple comebacks this year, so just one of those little bad spells right now for the team.
28 innings without scoring a run. I have a feeling that will be broken at some point. They will not go the rest of the year without scoring a run. Looks like the winning pitcher is going to be Zach Westcott. He's going to improve to 10-3 on the season. Ryan O'Reilly's going to get hit with the loss. He'll be 4-3 now as the Otters rookie had a bit of a tough go tonight, allowing 4 runs, 3 of those being earned. Westcott did not allow a run. He went through 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 9 strikeouts to 2 walks.
I'll just say this before we head off. Come back home. Obviously, that all sounds good and dandy, but I'm hoping that I get to press the button to flash the lights a few times here this weekend in the upcoming homestand.
That would be pretty cool, especially a couple home runs would be nice to have as far as a little bit of a morale booster. So it'll be, looks like it's listed at, wait, well, I was looking at the wrong weekend. I was saying it listed 6:45. That's the road series at Gateway. 6:35 tomorrow night as the Evansville Otters will be back at home for that 3-game set against Gateway. 6:35 on Saturday, 12:35 on Sunday. If you're listening, try to make it out there to Bossy Field. This team needs all the support they can get right now. Try to make that late season, postseason push for the playoffs.
That's right. And broadcast coverage will switch from YouTube to Frontier League TV for this weekend.
Be able to watch it live.
The Otters Digital Network.
I will not be there tomorrow night, unfortunately. I will be busy with other broadcasting duties, but I will be back on Saturday. I think on production. I believe Jevin will be doing the game on Saturday as well, play-by-play wise. So we'll look forward to hopefully joining you guys again, and hopefully an Otters win will come from that. For myself, Jordan Fisher, my partner Preston Leinenbach, as well as Zane Clodfelter, who was with us earlier, and Jevin and I'm going to give him credit for being the host and being such a gracious host, as we'll be looking forward to tuning in or covering these games with you guys throughout the year. Again, tonight it's the final score 4-0. Miners get the sweep, but Evansville still sits in first place in the West Division at 44-30. We'll talk to you tomorrow night when the Otters are back at home against Gateway. 6:35 first pitch, probably pregame about 6:20 if you tune in on Frontier League Live TV. Until then, that's all for tonight. From Evansville, the Otters lose in Marion 4-0 against Southern Illinois on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters YouTube channel.